All right, here we go. We are live. It's time for some Bezos Ball. Let's do this, baby. Thursday Night Football, of course. Shout out Amazon Prime. Not an ad. But we've got the Vikings and the Eagles. We're going to be doing a little watch party today. You guys know the drill at this point. I'm waiting for it to pop up on my channel so I can go send the link out. So I can get some more of y'all in here as well as check the chat. Seems to be taking a while. But yeah, I believe game starts at 8:15. 8:15 or 8:20. I know it's 8:20 for Sunday Night Football. I don't know why it's not popping up yet. That's a little weird. Oh, here we go. Okay, I see it. We'll see if there's anyone in here yet. But first, we got to share this link. Got the Randy Moss jersey on. I'll elaborate on that in a second here. I've got a bit of lore behind that as well as just some logistical reasons. All right, I don't know why. There we go. But yeah, I've never done this before. I've never done a stream like while games are going on. I don't plan on doing this too often, but you know, Vikings are my favorite team, as we've established many times at this point, and they're in prime time, so I figured, you know what, why not? This will be fun. Looks like we got 3 people in here right now. Christine, welcome to the stream. Good to have you back in here. Skull Vikings. How you doing, Christine? Ah, look at that. They've got the fireworks going on the screen right now. I will not be showing the game on my screen, for those of you that might be wondering. This is ironic coming from me because I've been pretty liberal about my copyright. But, I don't know. That's a can of worms I don't want to open, and I don't want this channel to get, like, a strike or anything. And, you know, like, honestly, let's be real. There's going to be a delay, right? What you're watching on your screen is going to be happening before it pops up in this stream. You know, like this stream is going to be behind by 30 seconds. So I don't think it would add much to the viewer anyways. I think you as a viewer are actually going to benefit because you're going to see the play. And then in between the play is probably when you're going to hear my reaction. Welcome to the stream, Caden. Caden says, how does it feel to have made 3 cents, Mr. Professional? Pretty good, not gonna lie. Consider my college paid for. You know, it's pretty crazy. For those that don't know, my channel actually hit the threshold to be monetized a few weeks ago, which is crazy to say out loud, but pretty exciting. As I hinted earlier, with copyright, all of my videos aren't eligible to be monetized. Honestly, I'm okay with that. I'd love to make money, but like that's not really what it's about right now. I'm just trying to put out quality content because 1, it's really fun, and 2, you know, reps, just getting better, putting myself out there. So 3 cents, hey, that's 3 cents more than I expected. I'll say that. Gabe says, I hate Kevin Fart. Yeah, I saw Kevin Hart was on the pregame table earlier. They're talking about something. I don't know. I've got the volume on pretty low right now, but I've got subtitles because I don't want the noise of the TV to drown me out. Jack is in here. Jack says Skull. What's going on, Jack? Hey, Skull Vikings. Skull Vikings, man. Good to have another Vikings fan in here. We did not have any Vikings fans in the last stream, and it hurt me. A lot of people were praying on the Vikings' downfall, and unfortunately, those prayers were answered. But I'm wearing the Randy Moss jersey. So quick fun little story. The last time I wore this Randy Moss jersey for a Vikings game was about exactly a year ago. It was week 2. The Vikings played in Philadelphia for a primetime game. That was the Monday night game, and I wore this jersey. My plan was I was going to wear my purple Eric Kendricks jersey for all the home games and the white Randy Moss jersey for all the away games. Well, if you remember, the Vikings got spanked. It was embarrassing. And I think their next game was a home game. I don't know. I wore the Eric Kendricks jersey, which later became known as the EK54, a few more times, and they just kind of kept winning. So then I kind of kept wearing it. Now he's no longer on the team. The jersey is also super worn out, and my new Justin Jefferson jersey is in the wash. Well, it's not in the wash. It's buried at the bottom of my hamper. I haven't done laundry since Sunday. And you know what? I think, for as crazy as this sounds, this jersey, right? I wore this jersey. Last time I wore it, they were embarrassed in Philadelphia on primetime. We're back in Philadelphia in primetime, week 2. This is coming back out. We're going to break the curse. That's right. Let's go Vikings. I'll get to my actual score prediction in a second, but I've said this to a few people now. There's like 10% of me that thinks we can win just because, I don't know, it's the NFL. Weird stuff happens. The Eagles are a little banged up on their defense. They also kind of got outplayed by the Patriots on Sunday. But the other 90% of me thinks that we lose like 35-10. But that's not my score prediction either. I'll get to that in a sec. But we've got a few more people in the chat here, a few more things being said. All right. I've been requested to give my top 5 favorite Vikings of all time. Ooh, okay. That's a tough one. Okay, so I'm going to think about this for a sec. I feel like they have to have played when I was alive for them to qualify. So I'm not going to be like, oh, Randy Moss or Alan Page, as cool as those guys are. Ah, jeez. A few, honestly, probably my 2 favorite Vikings of all time. They've aged interestingly, I'll say that. And what I mean by that is, oh, we got my dad in here too. What's going on, Dad? Says Skull in all caps. Welcome to the stream. Skull indeed. We'll see how this goes. But, so the 2 Vikings that have made me the happiest in my life, I feel weird calling them my favorite Vikings because certain stuff has happened later that has kind of changed people's images on them. But it's Adrian Peterson and Brett Favre, which is an interesting one. So Adrian Peterson is the one that makes a little bit more sense. I mean, he was the guy, right? He was arguably the best player in football when I was a kid growing up. He won an MVP for crying out loud in 2012. Still, the last non-quarterback to ever win MVP, which is crazy. And, I also got a nice little lesson of putting people on pedestals. Certain stuff came out about AP. And then Brett Favre is the other interesting one. So, yeah, Brett Favre only played 2 years with the Vikings. But the first year he played with the Vikings was the first year I really got into football. And as I'm sure most of you know in here, that was a magical year, man. 2009, 12-4, won the division, breezed through the divisional round. Tragic loss in the NFC championship game. But, man, I don't know. Like, he just had so much fun playing out there. And, like, maybe I was just a kid, but, like, man, that year with him under center, it really felt like anything was possible. He had, like, the Greg Lewis game and just, like, so many incredible wins. Again, unfortunately, there's some more stuff about Brett Favre now that we know where it's like, But, man, at the time, I loved Brett Favre. Outside of those 2, I think Case Keenum is another one that's up there. Case Keenum, again, short-lived tenure, but, man, what a magical year that was. Stephon Diggs, who I have up on my wall back here. I mean, I was at the Minneapolis Miracle, and, he left on interesting terms. But at this point, I don't know. We're cool. He's never actually had beef with the Vikings. I feel like I got to have a deep cut for one more. I don't know. Jared Allen is a good one. I see Jack saying Jared Allen in there. That's a good one. Antoine Winfield's another good one. I got to say Eric Kendricks, though. I don't know. I love Eric Kendricks. He's a great guy. He gave us some excellent seasons. I'll put Eric Kendricks in there. Gabe says, score prediction, Vikings 28, Eagles 24. I hope so, man. I really hope so. Looks like we're about to play. The Eagles are running out on the field now. Those green lights look pretty sick, I'm not going to lie. That is pretty well done by Lincoln Financial Field. Oh, look at Justin Jefferson. That is aura right there. Man, I hope he has a good game today. All right, well, before we get started, I'll say my score prediction. I'm going to go Eagles 28, Vikings 17. I think this is going to be a bit of a lower scoring game, which I guess like 28 points isn't that low, but 17 is kind of low for the Vikings. We'll switch here to the other screen just for a little bit. I think we'll pop back up once the game starts. But if you watched my previous stream and you heard me talk about the Vikings-Buccaneers matchup and what concerned me, right? It was the Buccaneers have a very strong interior defensive line, and the Vikings do not have a strong interior offensive line. Well, here we go. It's the same story again, right? Christian Darrisaw is going to play. That's huge. Star left tackle, best offensive lineman. That's big. Brian O'Neill, great right tackle. Honestly, the tackles on the edges are going to be an interesting matchup because Philly's got some great edge rushers too. Hassan Reddick, Brandon Graham. They added Nolan Smith in the draft. They have the juice on the edge. But just what really concerns me, Ezra Cleveland, Ed Ingram at guard, who Ed Ingram had another poor performance last week. Ezra Cleveland was actually all right, but what concerns me the most, I think, is that Garrett Bradbury is out, and it's going to be Austin Schlottman at center. And he played some last year, and the Vikings offense was just noticeably worse when he was injured. The big game that it really stood out on was the Vikings-Packers game in Lambeau, the one that I was at, 41-17. Man, they just got bullied on the interior. And this is a team with a very good interior defensive line. Fletcher Cox, Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter. Oh, they have Josh Sweat too. I mean, where the heck do the Eagles get all these guys? I mean, seriously, so I really do think that will be the matchup again that defines this game. And it's unfortunate because I feel like we can say that about most Vikings games this year. But I don't know. I'll talk more about that as we go on. But 28-17 Eagles, that's my score prediction. Welcome to the stream, Henry. Says, what's up, Doc? How's it going, man? How's Colorado treating you? Hope things are doing well. Are you excited for this game? Hey, how about those Falcons, huh? Hey, you made me eat some humble pie on Sunday. I'll say that. Gabe says, I put a California Pizza Kitchen frozen barbecue chicken pizza in the oven at 400 degrees for 15 minutes in preparation for this. That is oddly specific, but I respect it. I know Christine really likes those too. I've actually never had one before, but maybe I'll have to try one. I had leftover fried rice for dinner tonight. I got some fried rice and pork from Peking, which is the Chinese restaurant over by my apartment yesterday. And as any good Chinese restaurant would, they give you a ton of food. So I had a ton of extra food. And I actually still have a tiny bit more left over. Maybe that'll be my late night snack as I eat to cope tonight. This is a big game, though. This is low-key a big game for both teams. Obviously, if you're the Vikings, you don't want to fall to 0-2, especially with how good the Lions are looking and how good the Packers are looking, which I feel bad. Caden said something about the Packers, Jordan Love opinion. I'll give that in a sec here. Don't let me forget about that. I will get to that. I saw that. I didn't acknowledge it. I will get to that. But, if you're the Vikings, you don't want to fall to 0-2. History just usually points to 0-2 teams usually not faring too well over the rest of the season. If you're the Eagles and you lose this game, you obviously aren't as worried because the Eagles just have a very talented team, but I kind of hinted at it earlier. They kind of got outplayed by the Patriots on Sunday. I think New England outgained them by over 150 yards. The Eagles' offense just didn't have the same juice that it seemed to last year, and I think some of that can be chalked up to the Patriots' defense just being really good, but as I've talked about all offseason, they lose their offensive coordinator. That is a big deal. I mean, they scored less than 20 points on offense. 7 of them came off a pick 6. They were, 4 for 13 on third down. If Philly loses this game to a wounded Vikings team, that's it's a long season, but you're looking at a 1-1 team. I don't know. I don't. You still can't jump to too many conclusions at this time of the year, but this is an interesting game. We're going to learn a lot about both these teams tonight, I think. For me, personally, my prediction, 28-17, obviously I'd love to win. But I think if you're the Vikings, you feel good about this game if it's close. I think if you can keep it within one score for most of the game, you feel decent about it. I just don't want to get embarrassed tonight, to be honest, which I acknowledge is a possibility. There is a decent gulf in talent between these two teams. I am well aware of that. But Henry says, predicting the Panthers to win the South was your worst take yet, I'll be honest. It's a long season, man, and I'll tell you what. Their offense did look pretty rough. I think a lot of it you can just chalk up to poor receivers, which I guess that's what you get when you have poor receivers. But I don't know, one thing that stood out in particular, I didn't watch too much after the game. Like, I had it on a little bit, and I had it on Red Zone, but, you know, I saw a few plays where, like, Bryce Young, like, overthrew the receiver, and I don't know if any of you guys watch JT O'Sullivan, the QB, is it the QB school? Yeah, he has a good YouTube channel, former quarterback, does film breakdowns, and he did one on that game, and I don't know, there's just, like, a few of the Bryce Young overthrows where it was really just the receiver not finishing the route when they should have. It's a long season, man. That's all I'm going to say. And again, the Falcons, their defense really put in work. But all I'm going to say, the Panthers defense had the Falcons in the trenches for like 3 quarters. So we'll see. I don't know. I'm not ready to call it over yet, but that was a tough blow for my Panthers take. We're about to start. I've been like yapping up a storm here. They got Michael Buffer out on the field. All right. Hyping up the crowd. I like it. 8 people in here. Henry says, my prediction is 27-10 Eagles. Oh, it's possible. It is possible. The Vikings scoring 10 points would be really deflating. And again, like, maybe I should have started the stream a little bit earlier. Maybe not. There'll be plenty of dead time for me to talk about the Vikings last game because I've got some things to say. Kaden says, really like what I saw from Love, but I think his performance was more of a nod to Matt LaFleur. You stole the words right out of my mouth, man. It's time we give Matt LaFleur his flowers for being a darn good football coach. But I thought Love looked pretty good too. All right, here we go. Let's go, baby. All right, Eagles are starting with the ball. Touchback. All right, let's see if the defense can set the tone a little bit. I will say, all right, I'm going to be doing this stream from the perspective of a Vikings fan, but I'm going to be fair to the Eagles too. Like, I'm not just going to completely ignore them. Like, you know, there's 2 teams playing, but we shall see. Gabe says, why is Michael Buffer here? I don't know. It's a big occasion. Get the crowd up and ready. I respect it. I like the showmanship. As a Lions supporter, I'm really concerned that Jordan Love looks so chill. I get it was the Bears, but man, he did look good. All right, here we go. First play. Eagles coming out in shotgun. Is that Swift out on the field? Wearing number 0? That's still kind of weird to see. All right. That's a good first down play for the Eagles. Get like 5 yards right there. Get Devontae involved early. Vikings defense looked promising last week, and I get it was Baker Mayfield and the Bucs. You know, Mike Evans did hit his over for receiving yards, but I actually thought the Vikings corners did a decent job. You know, they were going to hit a few big plays. Like, that's just part of the territory when you're facing 2 good receivers, but I liked what I saw from Brian Flores. I'm a little more concerned against a team like this, though. A just more talented team like Philly. So going to go play action here. Look at that. There's Hurts escaping. Ooh, that's a good play. All right. Harrison Phillips, way to stay home. That's a good sound football play right there. Not over pursuing. Pressure is there. Good sign. You know what it was? Marcus Davenport is back, too. I'm really excited to see how he looks. Looks like Ivan Pace is coming off the field for 3rd down. Probably Brian Asamoah coming on, if I had to guess. There is Davenport, number 0. All right, let's see. Man, if the Vikings could get a 3 and out here early, that would be huge. A.J. Brown in motion out wide. All right. Oh, more pressure. Get him, Daniil. Come on. Hurts is going to escape. Oh, man. You just can't do anything about that, man. That's a good play by Jalen Hurts. One thing you're going to hear me talk about a lot this game on both sides is like what happens when the play breaks down. That is a great run by Jalen Hurts. He looks, he goes through his reads. It's not there. All right, I have the legs to beat you to the edge. I'm going to go get the first down. Daniil Hunter got like his fingertips on him, just couldn't quite get him. That's what these modern quarterbacks do, man. Like when the play's not there, they can go run for it. And you know, I don't want to be too mean to our own guy, but I've talked about this a lot. This was actually a big point of the first ever video on this channel. I don't know. Number 8 for the Vikings. He's not doing that. Those are deflating too. Is Josh Metellus hurt? He just got a nice contract. That's not good. All right. Fresh set of downs now. All right. We did get him into 3rd and 5, though. That's a little promising. It's an interesting stack formation there. Got to wrap up. All right. No gain. Maybe a loss of 1 there. They were ready for that. Dude, ugh, go blue. Was that Metellus? It was. Yeah, he did go to Michigan. Hey, he's been a good player for us. He has. Great on special teams. He's been seeing a little bit more time on defense. I like him. I like Josh Metellus. Woohoo, go Mahimes. I'm assuming you mean Mahomes. Unfortunately, Mahomes is not playing tonight. However, I will be watching Patrick Mahomes versus Trevor Lawrence on Sunday. Low-key, I'm happy the Vikings don't play on Sunday so I can watch that game. 2nd and 11. Oh, they're going deep. Uh-oh, he cooked them. Yeah. See, okay, this is what I was worried about in the Bucs game, and now it's happening here. Devontae Smith is just better than our corners. That's real. Yeah. Is that Lucky Jackson out there? We've got Lucky Jackson out there. All right. This could be a long night. There's AJ. I'm not even going to say hold them to 3 because the Eagles just will go for it. That's just what they do, and I don't blame them. When you have that offensive line, those receivers, and a quarterback like Hurts that can run, like they just go for it on 4th down. So let's get them into 4th down and then make them make a tough decision. That's what I'm going to say. Gabe says cooked and underthrew him. Dude just came in for Josh. Yeah. I mean, that's what happens when you have a young, inexperienced secondary. They're going to find the new guy out there, and they're going to target him. I did not think I'd be seeing Lucky Jackson getting snaps this early in the season. Hey, run defense has been pretty good so far. That was a nice stop on 2nd down. See, when I see the Eagles run a play like that, though, on 2nd and goal from, like, the 10, and they just do, like, a little run up the middle, that makes me believe that they are planning on going for it on 4th down. They don't really care that it's 3rd and goal from, like, the 10. So we'll see. Have they run once or, like, a scripted run? Well, there you go. There's that stack formation again. There's a big 3rd down right here. If they get, like, 5 yards, they're definitely going for it. They're going to run it again with Hurts. All right, now this is interesting because they can't just do, like, the push. They can't, like, just push Hurts forward to get the 1st down. Gabe says for sure going for it. I would like... Oh, Jake Elliott is coming out there. That is interesting. 2 straight runs. And they don't go for it. I mean, did they just expect to catch the Vikings defense napping maybe? Look at that. Elliott, 4 field goals. I mean, they couldn't finish their drives as well last week. I don't know. I only watched a little bit of that game. I went back and watched some of the All-22. And again, a lot of it you just have to chalk up to the Patriots having a really good defense. I'm really excited to watch this Patriots defense against the Dolphins on Sunday night. But you know what? Honestly, outside of that big play to Devontae, that was a solid drive from the Vikings defense. After giving up a big chunk play like that, giving up 3, you'll live with that. The onus is on the offense now. You know, 3 points is a win for the defense. Here's what I'll say, and this ties into kind of how I feel about last week's game. For better or worse, this Vikings team is built for their offense to win them games. And the performance last week, if you want to win football games, that was just not acceptable. 17 points. They had 3 drives in the second half. And my biggest gripe was just their refusal to run the ball, specifically in the second half. So on the 3 drives, they had a 16-play touchdown drive to start off the second half, which, hey, that's great, right? You love that. Their other 2 drives were both 3 and outs. All 6 plays were passes. And both of the drives started with like these weird, cute little plays, both to TJ Hawkinson, that put us behind schedule, and it put us in 3rd and long. And we just cannot afford to do that tonight against a pass rush like Philly. We cannot get into 3rd and long because they are going to tee off. And with Kirk just not being very mobile, the interior offensive line being weak, even weaker now without the starting center, Like, the Vikings cannot find themselves in, like, 3rd and 8. And so, you know, it might be scary, right? You see Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter and Fletcher Cox run out there. And, you know, they're all big and mean and they're ready to, like, really mess your life up. I just really think the Vikings have to be patient and they still have to try and at least run the ball some. I mean, we just cannot, like, get incomplete passes and find ourselves in, like, 3rd and long. Like, that's just not a good recipe for success against this team. In the passing game, I think the Vikings cannot bank on there being shots downfield like the Eagles just got because of that pass rush. Kirk is not going to have time back there. He's going to have to get it out quick. The Eagles are also a little thin down the middle of the field in defense. They have a strong interior defensive line, but the linebackers, a little banged up. You know, they lost both their starters. They've got some unproven talent. Same with the safeties. So, you know, I didn't put any money on tonight's game. I didn't do any prize picks. I got burnt pretty bad last week, so I'm going to hold off on that for a little bit. But if I was a betting man, I would really like TJ Hawkinson tonight. I'm also interested to see just how much they get Jefferson the ball because he was incredible in the first half. But he kind of disappeared in the second half again. And, I mean, a lot of it is just the Vikings offense wasn't out on the field. So, I don't know. We'll see. Oh, we got a new person in here, Parachamp, saying, congrats on all the growth for your channel. I saw your blueprint video and thought it was great. Keep up the awesome work. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you. Welcome to the stream. Come hang out for a while. We're watching football. Gabe says, off the top of your mind, going into week 2, power rankings top 5. I'll get to that in a sec here. But first, we got to watch primetime Kirk Cousins play football. Here we go. All right, I formation, CJ Ham out there. Let's run the ball on first down or play action. Kirk's got time. All right, there we go. Jefferson, first down. Let's go. Let's get him involved early. A lot of people sure had their fun with Jefferson last year when these two teams played. Slay clamped him up. We'll see. This is going to be a good matchup all game long. Jefferson takes snap 1. Also, no James Bradbury for the Eagles today, too. He was in concussion protocol, short week. I don't know if Slay is going to shadow Jefferson or not. Looks like he's on him again here. They're going to get it to him again. All right. They're like, you know what? We're going to get him the ball. All right. Well, I will admit, and I don't want to sound snarky or anything, I don't love power rankings for the NFL because they can just be so reactionary, especially early on in the season. But I will humor you. Off the top, I mean, if you really want me to say like who looked the best, like who looked like the best team in the NFL, it was the Dallas Cowboys. Man, I don't know if any of you guys watched that Sunday night game, but oh man, they looked good. More on that in a sec. Here's 2nd and 9. Addison out there now. Kirk had time. All right. No one open there. He just throws it away. He actually had a decent amount of time back there. The pocket collapsed a little bit later, but that's more time than I expect for most snaps, honestly. Like, you will live with that. There's Ed getting... Ed was all right. He got beat eventually, but it took him a few seconds to get beat. They're going to pick on him tonight. Here we go. 3rd and 9. See here... This is where we don't want to be, though. Are they going to bring the blitz? No, they rush 4. Yeah, all right. Osborne falling down. He wants a call. I don't know about that. 1 first down and then a punt. 3 straight passes there. This is what I'm talking about. Wait, I don't think we I don't think we ran the ball at all. This is what I'm talking about. Henry says, my stream is way delayed, so I'm going to be way behind in the chat. Hey, no worries, man. If you're out in the eastern corners of the internet, if you know what I'm saying, sailing the high seas. I don't know. Not a single run there. That's just... I get it's going to be hard to run the ball, but... Oh, the ball's out! Oh, they got it back. We needed that. All right. A score and a punt. Hey, we'll live with the field goal at least. Ooh, that was a big hit. Dang, man. I don't know. This is what I'm talking about, though. 4 straight passes. Not a 3 and out, but pretty darn close. All right, so if you're going to twist my arm, make me do a power rankings, I'll say Dallas Cowboys at 1. They looked incredible. And I don't think the Giants are bad either. Like, I think a lot of people are going to overreact and be like, man, like, this is the Giants coming back to earth. Like, what a fraudulent, terrible team. I still think they're well coached. Daniel Jones obviously isn't a difference maker, but, you know, he can still do his thing. And the defense, especially the front 4, is still, like, very good on paper. Like, I don't think they're going to be, like, a top 5 draft picking team. So I'll say Cowboys 1. Watching that Cowboys defense, man, I think they have something really special going. And I've made this comparison a few times before, and I promise you, like, I do not say this lightly. I recognize I was not alive for when he played. But Micah Parsons, he really is like a modern-day Lawrence Taylor. And just, like, watching that Giants defense, or watching that Cowboys defense, it's like, man, couldn't you see a timeline where, like, this Cowboys defense is like those Lawrence Taylor-led Giants defenses back in the day? I don't know. I had Dallas in the preseason as my NFC Super Bowl representative, and I'm feeling pretty good about that right now. Welcome back, Anything for Clicks. He said, I told you Browns would blow out the Bengals. You know what? You were right, man. You want to talk about a good defense. That Browns defense is different. Jim Schwartz out there now calling plays. They have Myles Garrett moving all over the field. Myles Garrett has help now. I don't know if you saw, but him do like that little like crossover pre-snap before rushing up the middle. That Browns defense is sick. And you know what? Like, I don't know how this was just like a complete oversight by me, but the Browns kind of own Joe Burrow. So I tip my cap to you. You called it, man. Cowboys played their best game last game. Y'all too hype off one game. Don't make any predictions until after week 4. I mean, I get that. I don't know. I'm just sticking with my NFC pick for now. Hey, this team playing against the Vikings, they could very well still win that division too. But I'll say Cowboys 1. I might say Niners 2. At this point, again, like, for as many times as people have said, like, oh, like, what about the quarterback, you know? At this point, it really just doesn't matter who's out there at quarterback when you have Kyle Shanahan and that talented offense and that defense. All right, back on the field now. Back to the game. Don't worry, we'll keep progressing throughout this. That's what the dead time is for. It's like hanging out with the boys, you know? They're going to take another deep shot. Oh, what a catch by Goddard. Oh, he couldn't hold on. I thought he had the toe drag there. Dallas Goedert is a good tight end. FCS, man. There's Brian Flores. You know what? You did a pretty good job, Brian, last week. You are already an immense improvement over Ed Donatel. 2nd and 10. All right. What are we feeling here? Are they going to throw? Yep. Another pass. Both teams pass heavy. All right. Not bad for the Eagles. Set up 3rd and manageable. I feel like that's a sweet spot for Philly. If you could get into that 3rd and manageable where you could feasibly run or pass, the defense can't really play too hard either way. Was it going to be ruled like, what, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 4 maybe? That's a sweet spot. Or Jalen Hurts could just run for it. They got the Rocket League legend Boston Scott out there. It's 3rd and 5. I'm feeling pass here. Oh, hang on. Flag on the field. False start. Oh, that's big. Oh, okay. So that takes them out of their 3rd and 5 comfort zone. All right. Lane Johnson, of all people. Doesn't he, like, never get penalized? Doesn't he, like, I don't know. There's, like, some crazy stat about Lane Johnson somewhere. I've seen it on Twitter before. Yeah, he moved. Look at that. All right. Got to take advantage here. Have to take advantage. They're going to rule it 3rd and 9. No funny business here. Don't even let them get like 7 yards and then entertain the possibility of them going for it. We're going to rush 3, which I don't love. I guess we'll have a spy on Hurts. Good tackle. Good tackle by Jordan Hicks. Open field tackle on Jalen Hurts. That's not easy to do. That was a big play right there. All right, I feel like they have to punt it now. They're just too deep in their own territory. So, yeah, look, they've got Hicks as the spy on Hurts. That's why they rushed 3. I'm going to be honest, I did not think he was going to make that tackle. I thought Hurts was going to beat him for the first down. That was a good play. All right, we're going to get the ball back. Touchdown gives us the lead. We'll see. Okay. Okay, let him cook. Oh, he's got a block. No, the ball's out. Are you kidding me? You have got to be kidding me. This team, man. This team. Brandon Powell, first-year return man for us. And he coughs it up after a good return. Yeah, he was not down whatsoever. Oh, my goodness. He just coughed it up. Cannot make those mistakes if you want to win this game. Like, you playing on the road against a really good team in prime time, you just cannot make those mistakes. Pearchamp says, sorry for you. Hey, man, I've seen worse. I've been a diehard Vikings fan since 2009. I've been baptized by fire. I have seen worse. And look at that. Big run for Swift on first down. Yeah, if I'm Philly, I'm running the ball a few times here. I'm going to test this Vikings run defense. Dad says Spursy. There are some bizarre parallels between the Vikings and Tottenham Hotspur, aren't there? Oh, man. If you want to be sorry for someone, how about my dad? Vikings fan, Tottenham Hotspur fan, Georgetown basketball fan. It's been a rough decade. I know how it goes. My Packers and Amari Rodgers. Ah, you're a Packers fan. Okay. Do you really know how it goes, though? Nah, I'm just messing with you. Hey, every fandom goes through, like, hard points, you know? Brandon Bostic, anyone? Caden, if you're in here, you know what I'm talking about? They're going to give it to Swift again. Oh, man. Yeah, look at that. Anyone start Swift in fantasy tonight? Dominic Awesome says, hey, man, you'll get there one day, but can we all see the screen? For the game, see, I said this before, like before the game started. I don't really want to run into any copyright issues, which is ironic because, like, you know, some of the music I use gets copyrighted, but I'm not, like, worried about, like, not making money. But I don't want, like, the NFL to find this and take it down because, I mean, technically I would be live broadcasting their game. That's a little bit different than, like, using NFL Films music for a video, you know? Like, I genuinely don't want this stream to get taken down, as that's a nice sack right there. And also, like, I don't know, like, the stream is a little bit behind, so, I mean, it's not ideal. I get it. Maybe one day, like, there'll be, like, the pigskin cast instead of the Manning cast, but for right now, this is what we gotta do. But welcome to the stream, Dominic. Appreciate it. Seeing Swift in a different jersey is crazy. We were all together when he was drafted. Well, together, I mean over Discord in quarantine. That was a wild time. That was also when Justin Jefferson was drafted. And Gabe is a Lions fan, for those wondering. So, and also, we both went to the University of Georgia. So, we've seen Swift in a few different jerseys. Is that a screen to the tight end there? Look at that. Hey, watch that, KOC. Tight end screens don't work. Don't get your tight end out in the open field. I hope you're taking notes, Kevin. The NFL can take your streaming privileges away. I would know. Yeah. It's just not worth the risk. But I get it, though. It would be cool to have it up on the screen. Eagles offense, does that look confident? 3rd and 16 now. They do not look super confident. It's interesting. Like, they've been running the ball very well. And they had that one deep shot to Devontae, but a lot of short passes so far, which I guess they'll take what they get. This is a big 3rd down right here. Hurts has all day. Intercepted! Oh, let's go! Get back up. Is that Lucky Jackson with the pick? Oh, the same man that got burnt gets the pick. Redemption. Let's go. Also, chat, if that's not Lucky Jackson, I can't hear very well right now. Like, I have it turned down a little bit. I'm pretty sure that's Lucky Jackson, though, is it not? I'm going to look it up. Oh, baby. All right, we will take that. Is Lucky Jackson 25? That's the only Jackson I know on the Vikings. He was on the practice squad. But, no, he's a wide receiver. I'm such a fake fan. Who is 25? That's actually terrible. I don't know who got the interception. Lucky Jackson is a wide receiver. This is a terrible look for the brand. Hold on. I'm looking it up right now. Jackson. Who is this Jackson fellow? Theo Jackson. Safety. I'm going to be honest. I don't know who Theo Jackson is. Apparently he was a 6th round pick out of Tennessee in 2022. He got an interception, though. Hey, good for you, Theo. Unfortunately, I don't know the Vikings 53-man roster top to bottom. We'll have to get there, though. I might be starting Brock Purdy over Jalen Hurts at fantasy at this rate. You know, this is a safe space. Brock Purdy might actually just be kind of good. I feel like maybe that's a possibility we need to entertain, is that, like, I was so worried about that elbow injury. Like, it just scared me so much. I was, like, a little hesitant. I was even saying wild stuff like, oh, maybe Sam Darnold should be the starter. I want to see Sam Darnold in the 49ers offense. Brock Purdy might just be a decent quarterback, and he also plays in maybe the most QB-friendly environment in the NFL, which, if you want a little teaser, for those of you that don't know, my next video is going to tie into that a little bit. If you don't follow me on Twitter, go follow me at Dr. Pigskin. I teased it a little bit on there too, but we're almost done with the research phase of this video, and then we're going to start writing. I got to say, I'm pretty excited for this one. I found some pretty cool stuff. And I'm going to have a lot of fun with the way that I present it. I think this is going to be a really fun video. I've been excited for this video ever since I came up with the idea for it, but all right. Big takeaway. Offense, show me something. So they're showing Jackson right now close to the line of scrimmage. The Vikings are going to do that a lot. They're going to have a safety up near the line. Sometimes they'll blitz them. Sometimes they'll drop them off. That's a staple of those Belichick-esque defenses. Obviously, Brian Flores was an assistant under him. We're going to see a lot of dime personnel, a lot of 6 defensive backs out on the field. That was big. We'll see. Hey, we'll see. All right. Gabe says, I don't know, Brock Purdy is kind of him. I don't know. See, he kind of is. Like, I will say, like, and I've watched a lot of 49ers film in preparation for this video. You know what? Some of it is just Kyle Shanahan being him. And, like, man, he gets guys open. But Brock Purdy can do some stuff when the play breaks down in a way that Jimmy couldn't. Hey, a running play. Is the ball out again? This game is drunk. Are you kidding me? Oh my goodness. So we have a fumble on a punt return, and then the first offensive play after that is a fumble. Is he down? There's no way he's down. Yeah, that ball's out. Oh my goodness. The turnovers in this game. Wow, absolutely. What is going on? Jeez Louise. And now what? We're not going to run the ball for like another 15 plays after that. Keep your head up, Madison. We need you. Oh, jeez. All right, defense. 11 turnovers in the first quarter over the last 2 seasons, most in the NFL. Fun fact. All right. Interesting. Hurts is going to keep. Hey, we've kind of got Hurts and the running game, at least the scripted running game, under wraps. He had that nice scramble to pick up the first down early. The Vikings have been ready for the option so far. Look at that. They've got Hicks lined up on the edge now. Got him on a tight end. Good play by Jordan Hicks. He's having a good game right now. That's the second big tackle he's made on Hurts. All right, former Eagle, revenge game, over in the link. Ooh, offensive line looked like it timed the snap perfectly. All right, they're going to get A.J. Brown involved here. Here we go again. That's that sweet spot for the Eagles. 3rd down and medium. And especially if you're the Eagles and you like going for it on 4th down as much as you do, you pretty much have 2 plays to pick up like 5 yards here. This is what they do. Pearchamp says maybe should have kept Cook. I see the logic in that. I definitely think Cook is still a much better back than Madison. I'm not super high on Madison, to be honest. I understand why the Vikings wanted to save money on Dalvin Cook, though. He was still pretty good last year, but he showed signs of decline. He's not a lead back anymore. So I understand they felt like he wasn't worth the money. 3rd and 5. Hurts is going to run again. We got him wrapped up again. Hicks is in there again. Oh, what a game from Jordan Hicks. Are they booing? Oh, come on. You guys are literally winning. Never change, Philly. Oh, man. Jordan Hicks, take a bow. That probably puts them out of field goal range, and they can't go for it either. This is some pretty conservative play calling by the Eagles so far. It's interesting. Oh, they're going to try the 55-yarder. Okay, I guess I didn't realize they were that close. Elliott's pretty good, too. He might hit this. Oh, a kicker missed against the Vikings. Impossible. The Eagles are doing everything in their power to keep us in this game right now. Now, unfortunately, the last 2 times we've touched the ball, we're like, no, please take it back. We do not want the ball. Here, take it. But this, like I said, this game is drunk. I don't know what is going on. Henry with a good question here. Why do you think so many defensive coordinators have their own style of defense rather than just running whatever scheme matches their personnel? That's a great question, and I'm going to try my best to answer it. I might sound a little silly, and I'll admit, like, I've loved football for a long time. I think this year is the year I've really tried to make a concentrated effort to, like, really understand the X's and O's. I guess, I don't know, certain defensive coordinators, they just like their defense run a certain way, and usually when you do hire a new coordinator, like, they're not just going to completely scrap what they're doing for something else. Like, if you hire a guy that runs a 3-4 and then the team before ran a 4-3, it's very rare that he's just going to be like, I've ran a 3-4 my whole life, but whatever, I'll switch to a 4-3. So, and that's kind of one of the things I was worried about with the Vikings with Brian Flores. Like, for as exciting as it is getting him is, you know, anytime you switch defensive coordinators, you kind of go through an ugly period where either the players have to learn the scheme or you just have to get more players that fit the scheme. And the Vikings spent a decent amount in free agency to get some guys, and, you know, they drafted a few guys too, obviously. So they just kind of do what they can. I don't know if that answers your question very well, but I mean, like, if you're Bill Belichick, are you really going to, like, well, I mean, if Bill Belichick has been there for however many years now, like, and he's also the GM, so he's drafting the guys that he wants. But even if you're like Brian Flores, are you really going to change everything you do because you're on the Vikings now? And if you're a really good coach, you could just teach the scheme to the guys, and then they can adapt too. So there's also that. That's my best way of answering that. Gabe says, what the heck is this game? Ha ha ha. I don't know, man. I don't know. I would like to see something from the offense here. This will be our 3rd drive. Obviously, the last one was cut short by a fumble, so you can't take too much away from that. I mean, it's just unfortunate that Madison dropped the ball. Next week, Giants 49ers. I will be watching that, provided I don't work. I'm so happy I didn't have to work tonight. For those that don't know, I work over at a newspaper writing in the sports section, and it's a very fun job, but sometimes the downside is that you have to work nights. Like, for example, like I don't have any Friday nights free. You know, I cover high school football, which honestly is awesome. I love doing it, but, you know, it still stinks to not have your Friday nights open. And here's our weekly Kirk falling over play. 2nd and long. Look, I say this as maybe one of the most uncoordinated people on the planet. But, like, I swear, Kirk does that every week. He just falls over. And I don't know if, like, the lineman clipped him. Like, I'll have to see a replay of it, but 2nd and 15. Are we going to run another play before the quarter ends? Should we? Looks like we might. Hawkinson in motion. Should we, or should we just let the clock run out? Oh, hey. Offside, encroachment, free play. Just go deep to Jefferson. Oh, he tried it. All right. Well, hopefully that was on the Eagles and we didn't just chuck it. Well, they would have blown the play dead. Don't look, Eric. I don't know what I'm not supposed to look at. Let's see. Yeah, okay. Hey, we'll take the 5 yards back, please. Fletcher Cox jumped off sides. All right. So that's got to be the end of the quarter then, right? Yeah. All right. Hey, 3-0 after the first quarter. We will take that. We will absolutely take that. It could be a lot worse. It's frustrating because it could also be better, and there's a part of me that's scared that the Eagles' offense is going to wake up. I really think we should get points on this drive, even if it's just a field goal to tie things up. I just don't think the Eagles' offense is going to be dormant forever. I mean, they already hit one big play. They weren't able to do much with it, but we'll see. Don't look, Eric. I'll be honest, I don't know what I'm not supposed to look at. I'm a little scared right now. Man, that would have been a sick catch by Jefferson, though, wouldn't it have been? Add that to the catalog. He's got a few catches so far. Let's take a look at the stats so far. How are the stats looking after the first quarter? I don't know if any of you guys played like Prize Picks or Underdog, or if you guys got people going in fantasy today. Hurts has only two incompletions. He's looking decent through the air. At least his numbers are. I don't know. They just haven't been attacking downfield except for that one big play. 7 for 9, 72 yards and a pick. We might be seeing more of Swift here. Swift's got 4 for 24. He's looked pretty good. Jefferson with 2 catches so far. Both of Kirk's completions were to Jefferson. You know, we'll switch over so you guys can see my screen for this at least. I mean, I don't know how much this adds right now, but we'll just be checking on this every once in a while. In a weird way, this feels like I'm doing play-by-play again. I used to do a lot of play-by-play. That was originally what I wanted to go into, but I've been focusing more on like creative stuff now, like this or writing. But I mean, I'm just talking while a game is going on. It's kind of fun, actually. I kind of like this. This is fun. Maybe this will be a weekly thing, even if the Vikings aren't playing. I don't know. What do you guys think? If I tried to stream at least one primetime game every week, like I'm obviously not going to do every game. And a lot of it will depend on my work schedule. But would you guys watch that if I did like maybe a watch party a week? Is that something you guys would be interested in? Let me know, chat. I'm kind of having fun. I might not even care. Like if everyone's just like, no, it's like whatever. I'm going to do it. Even if there's no one in here, I'm going to humor myself, build my portfolio. But I don't know. This has been fun. We're just watching football, talking ball. I don't know what else there is to say right now from the box score. I mean, we're all watching the game. Not too many conclusions you can jump to besides like what we've just seen. Got 2 yeses. All right, that's all I needed to hear. That's all I needed to hear. And I feel like the more I get into this, and the same thing goes for like my Sunday morning streams. I'd hinted at this before. Eventually, I want to get a stream deck so I can start building some graphics for this. So it's not just my face and then my beautiful setup I've got behind me, but like I'll have some graphics. I also want to get a new webcam because I'm just using the camera on my computer right now. We'll see. All right. Okay. Is that Addison getting involved? Let's get paid. Let's get paid. Let's go. Eagles need a new offensive coordinator. Well, they just got one, and that was my big concern with this team, is that Shane Steichen just did such an unbelievable job, and then he goes, and for as much as people wanted to be like, oh, well, Brian Johnson and Jalen Hurts have been best friends since they were 5, like, it's a new man calling the plays now. And we kind of saw it last week. We're kind of seeing it this week. That stuff matters. All right, speaking of stuff that matters, 3rd down and 3. Can we pick this up? Osborne, please hold on. Thank you. All right, good catch, KJ. Big first down. Let's keep this drive on schedule. All right. Resounding yes for weekly watch parties. I love you guys, man. All right. This will be a thing. I'll try and fit at least one in a week. How about that? How's that sound? Vikings O-line, garbage. Oh, I know. I know. I'm aware. It's been that way for a while. But it's also not all their fault. Oh, my goodness. There's Jalen Carter. Wow. Maybe the NFL made a mistake letting him go to the Eagles. Yeah. That was not a fair fight. That is our backup center against maybe the most talented player in the draft. Boom. Wow. All right. I'm going to head out, but it was nice chatting up and hope to catch some more streams. Take care, y'all. Hey, feel free to come back, Pear Champ. Good to have you in here. I'm loving the vibes from these new guys. Hawkinson, all right. We'll live with that, I guess. It's still 3rd and long, but it's better than no gain. Take care, man. Thanks for watching. What would be sick is if you could use Stream Deck to put the time, score, down, and distance so we all know exactly what you are watching. That is an excellent idea. And you know what's funny? At my old job over at good old Magnitude Sports, I had plenty of experience using Stream Deck to operate a scoreboard. That would be sick. All right. I might... Once I get my next paycheck, I might spend it on a Stream Deck. We'll see. I'll have some learning to do, but I've used Stream Deck with OBS before, so... 3rd and 9. Oh, Hawkinson! There we go. What'd I tell you? Hawkinson, big game. All right. Over the middle of the field. That is the area the Vikings are going to have to attack. Big chunk play on 3rd down. That's what I like to see. Protection held up there. Parker's in the stream now. What's going on, Parker? Finish your homework? How's it going, man? Sorry, I don't mean to sound like accusing like your parents. More like, oh, you finished your homework. Good job, man. Welcome to the stream. I've been playing a lot of 2K recently. George Erickson is up to a 76 now. He's starting to hit some threes. He's going to be a problem. Hey, a toss play. Madison, all right. Good run right there. See, this is what I like. Just a good, honest run on 1st down. If you guys follow me on Twitter, I retweeted the other day. It was from Old Time Football. There's a video of Larry Zonka going 54 yards through the mud for a touchdown. It's like, you know what? We need to return to our roots of Vikings football. Good old ground and pound. I'm not saying we need to run the ball like 40 times a game. Obviously, our strength is our passing attack, but we just did not run the ball at all last week. I'm liking this run. And see, look, now you can set up play action. Jefferson, nice matchup. 1st down. Beautiful. That is the Shanahan offensive scheme at its best right there. Running the ball and then setting up play action, getting mismatches with your best guys. Beautiful. We'll take the 1st down. Henry says, I still maintain the Falcons should have drafted Jalen Carter as much as I love Bijan. You're right. I mean, you are right. The Falcons could use a Jalen Carter more than they could use a Bijan Robinson. That being said, I don't know. It's just got to be so much fun to have Bijan Robinson on your favorite football team. All right, Hawkinson, get in, baby. Touchdown! Touchdown, TJ Hawkinson! Let's go! Primetime Kirk, baby. He is to be feared. Touchdown, TJ. What a good drive. All right. Whoo! I'm not going to get my hopes up too much. There's a lot of game left. But that was encouraging. That was a good drive. That was a good, honest drive. Play action again. We're just spamming that play action right now. Good job by Hawkinson to break the tackle. Showing a little bit after the catch. Oh, yeah. All day. And he misses. Oh, he barely snuck it in there. Forgive me for assuming that the Vikings kicker missed. All right, 7-3. Not bad. Not bad. All right, defense. Answer the bell. Answer the bell. Look at Kirk. He's fired up. This is a Kirk Cousins legacy game right here. Kirk, honestly, Kirk could use a good game like this. And I'm not saying like throw for 360 yards. I'm saying grind out a win. I don't care if it's like 220 yards, but like, I don't know. But that was a good drive by Kirk and company. I don't know what this ad is for. Is that Aquaman? Let's check the chat. All right. Could you imagine if he was on the Lions? Thank you for the trade, by the way. I feel like that was a win-win trade. You guys got a good draft pick. We got a good player. And you guys got a pretty good-looking tight end now in your own right, Sam Laporta. He impressed me. His stats weren't super crazy, but he looks pretty good. And I've been hearing a lot of good things about Sam Laporta throughout the offseason. So, win-win. Yeah, I did. Light work. Attaboy. Let's go. That's what I like to hear. Shout out UND. Not to dox anyone. Yeah, they don't know where you are. All right, I need some water after that drive. All right. That's right. You did get, was the Hawkinson pick used on Brian Branch? Must have been. Henry asks, wasn't Hawkinson out in training camp because of an earache? Glad to see he's feeling better. So I don't know TJ Hawkinson, right? Like maybe he actually did have an earache. I do think it's funny though how he had an earache when he was in the middle of a contract negotiation, and then as soon as he put pen to paper, it went away. But regardless, it is good to see him feeling well. So, I mean, I don't blame him. Go get your money, man. You earned it. He's probably a top 5 tight end. He was a difference maker as soon as we acquired him last year. But that's my 2 cents. Like, I was never too concerned about the earache. Fast twitch by Gatorade. 200 milligrams of caffeine. That's a decent amount. I say that as someone who used to slam bangs religiously back when I was a junior in college 2 years ago. Those babies have 300 milligrams. I eventually stopped because it made my anxiety worse, believe it or not. It's like over 3 cups of coffee worth. Uh-oh. Amazon is loading right now. What's going on here? All right, we're just going to back out and back in. Thanks a lot, Jeff Bezos. I'm watching on my Xbox right now, for those that don't know the setup. So what I've got, I'm in my bedroom. I'm the kind of person where I actually don't have a TV in my bedroom. I have 2 TVs, and the second one goes out in the living room. And if you're a boy, you know why, right? Because sports are on. And maybe you want to have a sport on while you play your video game. Or maybe you want 2 sports on at the same time. So I usually have my smaller TV out underneath my bigger one, as you might have seen on my Twitter when I posted the college football picture, the Mojo Dojo Casa House, if you know, you know. But I moved that smaller TV. I've got it on my coffee table, and I set my coffee table up, tilted like maybe 30 degrees from my desk, and so I can see it pretty well. Oh boy, big run right there. But I've got my Xbox hooked up to it because I don't have cable or satellite or anything. And the game is on Prime, so I just downloaded the Prime app for Xbox, and that's how I'm watching it. Yeah, I don't know. It's nice to have Amazon Prime, I guess. It kind of stinks that like you need 80 different streaming services to watch everything. But I'm always appreciative of when I can legally watch the Vikings, because let's just say I was not legally watching the Vikings on Sunday. I can legally watch Red Zone now, which is nice. That's part of NFL Plus, which, I don't know. I'm football starved, so for me, NFL Plus is worth it. You get Red Zone, you get full game replays, and you get the all 22 coaches film, which I really enjoy. And you get some NFL Plus exclusive content too. I've talked about this podcast a lot. I really like the Around the NFL podcast. They have some exclusive stuff on there, so for me, it's worth it. I can't remember the price, but I'm not sponsored, obviously, but if that's something you're interested in, maybe go look into it. Eagles got a fresh set of downs now. Dump off. Again, I'm really curious to see what Jalen Hurts' average depth of target is after this game. It's got to be pretty low right now. I want to see the next gen stats chart where they like plot all the different like completions and incompletions. I feel like it's pretty shallow right now. The Hawkinson pick turned into the Chiefs rookie wide receiver Rice, and then the Lions used what they got trading back to trade up and take Branch. Sports. Hey, Rashee Rice played a pretty good game on Thursday. One of the few Chiefs wide receivers you can say that about. Decent run by Swift, set up 3rd down. Is this 4-down territory for the Eagles? Last season, they would go for it from this part of the field. I mean, that is a big reason why they won so many games. They pretty much had an extra down. We'll see. They're going to run it again. They might just get it. They will. Look at me talking about, oh, is this 4-down territory? They're just going to pick it up. DeAndre Swift is playing pretty well right now. Look at this hole this offensive line is going to open. Boom, right there. Good block by Mailata. He got tripped up there by Harrison Phillips. Oh, he might have still been I don't know if he would have still been running, but he would have got some more yards. I don't think that was an intentional trip, because if it is, that's a penalty. Yeah, why not go to Swift again? All right, more ready for it that time. Now they're going to take him out. Who's going to come in? So Kenny Gainwell is hurt, if I'm not mistaken, correct? That's why Swift has been seeing a lot of carries. You know who we really haven't seen yet is Rashad Penny, who I think is a very talented back. But look, they got Boston Scott in over Penny. I was like making a big deal when Penny went to the Eagles because I'm like, oh, like, you know, his yards per carry is like 6, and now he's behind a good offensive line. But Boston Scott can do the same thing, I guess. I mean, seriously, they've just got like the Avengers on their offensive line. It is crazy. They've got probably 2 Hall of Famers in Jason Kelsey and Lane Johnson. And then like Mailata is really good. Landon Dickerson is really good. This Jurgens or Jurgens, I think it's Jurgens or Jurgens. He's new. They lost Isaac Seumalo, who was also really good, but he's on the Steelers now. But even after losing a key starter, like they still probably have the best line in football. And last year it was like an all-star team. There's another first down run. See, here we go. Philly's just going to run the ball now. They're content to just run the ball. They might be setting something up eventually. But I think this is now 6 runs to 1 pass on this drive. Would not be shocked to see him maybe take another deep shot here soon. I've heard a few different podcasts use this analogy. I'm going to steal it. Like, sometimes with your wide receiver, it's like, just go get a bucket, you know? They've got some bucket getters. They're going to run again with Hurts. There's a better run from Hurts. He gets to the outside. Gabe says, I'm surprised to see Swift used so much. He has such an injury problem. Whenever I see him hit, I'm like, oh no. I don't think they plan to use Swift as much. Obviously, like Kenny Gainwell getting hurt, like kind of threw a wrench in that. But I've always seen this backfield as like a rotation between Swift, Gainwell, Boston Scott, Penny, and Jalen Hurts. Those are 5 guys that are all very capable of carrying the football. And maybe that's why they were content to take a flyer on more injury-prone backs. Man, they are just having their way on the ground right now. This is where the Vikings missed Dalvin Tomlinson. This has been a long drive, too. Cameron just cut to Kirk on the sideline looking forlorn. This Vikings offense has had problems staying on the field so far this season. Oh, this is a grown man drive by the Eagles right here. Like, this is, 9 carries for 46 yards so far. They're approaching the red zone. Can this defense bend but not break? Play clock running down now. Uh-oh, we look a little lost here. Guys don't know where they're supposed to be. That's never a good sign. All right, hey, incompletion. That was played pretty well. Knock on wood. The pass defense has looked pretty good so far. That's what I'll say. Now they show Jefferson looking off in the distance. Man, I don't like when the cameras pan to Jefferson and he looks sad. Makes me scared. Everyone starts posting like the Bengals photoshops and stuff. It's like, all right, we don't need to see that. Bengals have enough wide receivers. Come on. 2nd and 10. Oh my goodness, no one is there underneath. A.J. Brown's going to get the first down. There was just no one there underneath. Interesting. I don't quite know what happened there. They had Byron Murphy on him. Yeah, I think you can't see much from that angle, but maybe Murphy was expecting someone else to pick him up. He keeps backing up there. I don't know. Harrison Smith was backing up too. Maybe he thought Harrison Smith was supposed to go play AJ. Bynum looks lost out there again. He's maybe we're just like switching. Maybe he's not lost. I don't know. He's been moving around a lot, but it looks like he's being directed a little bit. Another big run. Henry says the Eagles are one of the big reasons running backs aren't getting paid. You're absolutely right. Right? This is what I talked about in my last video. The classic like Moneyball tactic. They let Miles Sanders go. They're like, you know what? You had a great season. Thank you for your time. We're just going to replace you in the aggregate. We're going to save some money. We're going to put our money in stuff that's harder to replace, wide receivers and quarterback. And there goes Swift again. My goodness. This is like watching like 2012 NDSU right now. Like this is just a death march. Oh my goodness. I respect this brand of football so much. I can't even be that mad, you know? This is the kind of driver like, you know what? Our offensive line is better than your defensive line. Like, we are just better than you, and we're just going to run the ball. Another run. Swift. Is he in? He might be in. Stopped at the 1. Here comes the Hurts push. This is inevitable. The Jalen Hurts QB sneak push, right? I mean, don't even be, like, there's nothing subtle about it. We all know it's coming. I don't blame them. I don't know why every team doesn't do it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they won't do it, but no, it looks like they're about to do it. Yeah, he's in. There's whistles. Hold on. Here come the Boo Birds. Timeout, Vikings. Okay. I'm going to be honest. And again, I'm not a head coach or anything. Is it really worth calling a timeout right here? They're just going to go run the same play again. I don't know. Maybe they didn't like the personnel they had out on the field. Maybe they wanted to see if the Eagles were actually going to run that QB sneak. But if I'm the Eagles, I just run it again. I mean, you have like 3 more times to run it, honestly. You're probably going to get like 1 yard in those 3 plays. I just don't know if it's worth burning a timeout, especially right, like your offense is about to get the ball back and potential like 2-minute drill situation. Do you really want to spend a timeout when it's just, we'll see. We'll see what play they come out with. But look, no, they're just going to do the same thing. Like, I'm going to be honest. I do not agree with that timeout whatsoever. Was it really worth calling a timeout? I don't know. The same result happened. 16-play, 75-yard drive that took almost 8 minutes. Oh, baby. Yeah, no, that play, I don't know if I want that play to be outlawed or not because it's, I mean, like, teams whine about it, and it's like, well, why don't you just do it? It is a little broken, though. I don't know. But, hey, you know what? It's, like, I'm not, like, even being salty. Like, it's allowed. I don't blame them for doing it. I don't know why we don't do it, you know? But Gabe says Brock Purdy ain't doing that. He probably is, though. Like, I'm sure most, if not all, quarterbacks could do that. Like, Brock Purdy could just have use check, push him forward, and he's getting the yard. Like, I think he is doing that. You got to give some credit to Hurts, too. Like, that is just a very strong individual. Like, we've all seen the videos of, like, Hurts squatting, like, 600 pounds or whatever. It's only one timeout. Like, maybe I'm just fretting over this one timeout too much, but I would not have done that. Oh, well. Heck of a drive by the Eagles. The run game was out in full force. This is classic Eagles. That's kind of the stuff they did last year. They just ran the ball, and then short yardage situations, you were not stopping them. So we'll see. This is a big drive here for the offense now. The offense, I would like to respond with some points. If we could tie it up before halftime. If I'm not mistaken, the Vikings get the ball to start the second half, too. So you want to score. You don't want to leave too much time. Obviously, like, if the score is there, just take it. Like, don't pass up an open receiver for the sake of saving time. But ideally, if we can try and score with maybe less than a minute left, that would be good. Really put the onus on the Eagles to score quick if they're going to get points before half. In a perfect world, obviously, like, this next Vikings drive, if you're the Vikings, is the last possession of the half. But I don't know. We'll see. Finally see the Vikings D-line is trash. It's definitely weaker than last year. I will give you that. And I talked about this in my pregame, not my pregame stream. Well, my pregame stream last Sunday. Losing Dalvin Tomlinson was kind of a big deal, and no one really seemed to talk about it. They also lost Zadarius Smith, which he did play the run fairly well. He kind of disappeared at the end of last season, but I mean, Harrison Phillips is solid, but I mean, their run defense is definitely worse without Dalvin Tomlinson. Trash. Is it trash? I mean, if you define trash as like bottom 5, I wouldn't say that. There's some bad defensive lines out there. But they got bullied in that last drive. And I guess they didn't get too much pressure last week on Baker. They were like amongst the bottom of the league in pressure. Oh, we'll see. This game should be over, but the Eagles offensive coach, a noob. And Kirk gonna throw a pick. We'll see, man. We'll see. Smart money would be on Kirk throwing a pick today, but he's looked pretty good so far, which is famous last words if you're going to talk about a Vikings quarterback. But I will say, I mean, Philly has been letting us hang around. We have to take advantage. We've had a few bad. I mean, you could also say the other way though, like the fumble on the punt return and then Madison's fumble. I feel like 10-7 is a fairly fair score for this game right now. I think it's fair that the Eagles are up, but a one-score game seems like a fair result so far. Could really use that Kirk pick. Oh, Caden, did you put money on a Kirk pick? I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Kirk gonna go big Kirko chains, foo. I'd love to see the return of the chains if we won tonight. Hey! Josh Oliver sighting. Rocking the number 84, which I guess the Vikings have decided they're not going to retire. We should maybe get on that. No disrespect to Josh Oliver. Like, welcome to the team, man. Nice catch. But don't we feel like we should maybe retire Randy Moss's number? I feel like that's not too hot of a take. I don't know. I get he left on weird terms, but he's embraced the Vikings. I feel like that bridge has been mended. We're going to run it here. Okay. I guess we got the 2-minute warning coming up. That'll stop the clock. We still have 2 more timeouts. I don't hate that. Let the clock bleed a little bit. Get a few yards. It's like an extra timeout. Now Kirk will go back to the sideline. Offense will talk over. What I'm guessing is going to happen is they're probably going to script out the next few plays, or at least try to. So they have a few plays in mind so they don't have to waste as much time in the huddle. So they can kind of go a little bit quicker. That's my guess. That's what the 2-minute warning is really nice for usually in these 2-minute drills. But Caden says, Swift hit the over. Now Kirk's turn. Parker said, I did. Retire Jefferson's number. I would love to get to that point one day where we see 18 go up in the rafters, huh? That would be nice too, wouldn't it? I tell you what, and you can save this because this will probably be many years from now. Like, I'll be like a fully grown man with like a fully grown man's life at this point. But if the Vikings ever retire Justin Jefferson's number, I will be at that game for the ceremony. I will be there. That is my plan. I will be there no matter what, as they say on Twitter. So it looks like he got 2 of the Fargo boys got money on Kirk throwing a pick here. We'll see. Hey, he can do it. How about just not on this drive? How about that? How about he throws a garbage time pick? He can throw his pick, just not right now. Now is not the time. It's not the vibes. So it's going to be like, what, 2nd and maybe 7 for the Vikings coming out of the 2-minute warning. 2 timeouts. Do you try and just have Jefferson go get a bucket? Like, do you try and draw something up for Jefferson, get him involved? Because, I mean, the offense hasn't been out on the field much, but he hasn't seen much of the ball. I guess he had a nice catch on the last drive. I don't know. Or do you keep going with, like, Hawkinson down the middle? That's been working a little bit. I don't know. I just hope we don't get too cute. I think that is one of my biggest pet peeves with KOC. And I'm not harsh, but I will praise and I will also criticize. And I always say this from a place of love, you know. KOC can get a little too cute sometimes with his play calls, with all the tight end screens we saw last week. That game against the Lions last year, the one where the Vikings lost, where the Lions were like favored by 2.5 points, even though the Vikings had 11 wins. Like they had that dumb Dalvin Cook jump pass at the goal line that got fumbled, and like too many times on like 3rd and short or 4th and short, like we'll do like this weird end around jet sweep when we should just try and get the yard. I don't know. I hope we don't get too cute here is what I'm trying to say. And usually it's not in these situations where we get cute, but like if we get down in the red zone, I don't want to see I don't know. It's one thing if it works, but there's Hawkinson down the middle. I don't think that's enough for the first down, but is this 4-down territory? You're looking at like 3rd and maybe less than a yard here. They're letting the clock run, which I don't mind. Do you just run it here? And then, does not look like they're going to run. I'm a little scared of running the ball, though. I don't know. I just don't trust Madison that much, to be honest. Especially if we're running up the middle. Like, I could see Jalen Carter just blowing this play up. They're playing really off Jefferson down at the bottom. They're going to go to him. Hey! You know how many times that happened to us last year? Where our corners would just play so far off the receiver on like 3rd and short. And then believe it or not, like the opposing quarterback would just take that. Look at that. Okay, that feels good to be on the other end of. They played way off Jefferson and they called his number. I like that. Clock is still running. Now less than a minute. I feel like we've managed the clock pretty well here. Incomplete to Madison there. Could have been a better throw. He probably wasn't doing much with the ball, even if he caught it. They're showing the stats right now for Cousins, Jefferson, Hawkinson. Not bad. A little quiet from Jefferson. I don't know. Darius Slay is a good corner. Like, that is just part of it, too. Like, Darius Slay is one of the better corners in the National Football League. He's had a few important catches, though. Picking up first downs. Those matter. Uh-oh. We better not have to burn a timeout right here. Just as soon as I say we've been managing the clock well, All right. 52 seconds is still plenty of time. I'd rather burn the timeout than take the 5-yard delay of game penalty. Don't you just wish you had an extra timeout right now, though? This is what I'm saying. Like, the Eagles were going to score that touchdown no matter what. I'm sorry if I'm like too hung up on that timeout, but they were going to score no matter what. I just really would hate to see this drive go up in smoke or something because of the timeout. I don't know. It is a lot easier to stop the clock on offense than it is on defense. You can get out of bounds, you can spike it, you can just throw it away. So I get that. We still have a ways to go, though. I mean, if we get a field goal and we go into the locker room tied, I'm happy. I'm very happy, actually, considering my score prediction pregame. But, I mean, a touchdown here is not out of the question. We're going to have to pick up some yards soon, though. Who is 23 on the Oakland Raiders? Kenyon Drake or Isaiah Rochelle? Well, Isaac Rochelle, I believe he's on the Raiders practice squad. For those that don't know who Isaac Rochelle is, he is married to a famous TikToker, and he is unironically one of the most well-known football players. Not amongst football fans, but amongst girls aged like 16 to 26. He's married to Allison Cooch, who is a famous TikToker. Christine, if you're still in here, Isaac Rochelle just got mentioned. I don't believe Kenyon Drake is still on the Raiders, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, there you go. There's Christine. Yes, he is. Who is 23 on the Raiders? This is also extremely random. I'm wondering what prompted this. I'm looking right now on the Raiders website to see. Watch them not even have a 23. David Long Jr. is 23 on the Raiders. He is a cornerback from Michigan. Oh. Is that why you asked me that, just so I could mention the University of Michigan? Who is Isaac Rochelle? I only know Isaac Cooch. Fair enough. Sorry, Mr. Allison Cooch. Yeah, that's right. Good old Mr. Allison Cooch, the greatest football player to ever live. Also played for the Browns and the Colts. And again, I know this because of Christine. Christine has taught me about football. We're also starting to turn Christine into a football fan, which is very exciting news. Oh, Osborne, wide open. Take that space and get out of bounds, young man. Good job. That's a hero right there. He saved a man's life. Look at that. We've got real-life superheroes on our team. I love KJ Osborne. Oh, behind me. That is Kenyon Drake. Yeah. So fun story about Kenyon Drake. A few years ago, I'm sure he still has it. He has a foundation for leukemia. And if you donated like at least $25 to it, he would mail you an autographed picture. So I was like, oh, you know what? That's pretty cool. And sure enough, he gave me an autographed picture. So I have it hung up. Deep shot. And no one's there. All right. You know what? That's okay. Clock stops. It was like out of range. No one could pick it. That's okay. But yeah, that's the story. No one has actually ever asked. I never know where to point. I keep switching hands, but I'm pointing the same way. No one has ever asked me about this picture, though, before. But yeah, that is the story behind the Kenyon Drake autographed picture. Pretty cool, actually. He, like, sent it in a nice envelope and everything, and, like, it had a typed-up note thanking me for my donation. It was pretty cool. If he still has it, you guys should go consider donating. I don't know if he, like, gives away autographs or stuff anymore, but... All right. Another deep shot from Kirk. This time, Jefferson has it. Get in. Oh, the ball came out at the end. He's going to be down. Wait, was that the fumble touchback? No, right? No, this isn't the fumble touchback, is it? Hold on. There's like some weird obscure rule. Lions fans know about this. The fumble touchback. No. Are we going to lose possession? So the ball comes out. It does not hit the pylon. But it goes over. Does that matter? You have got to be kidding me. What a stupid rule. Sorry, I'm like silent right now. I'm trying to figure out what the call is going to be. The subtitles are far behind. I swear. What a Vikings moment. They're going to, of course, they're going to keep us in suspense too. Unbelievable. This team, man. This team. I'm sorry. And again, I know it's easy for me to say because, like, I'm on the other end. But you know what? I don't care. I'd be saying this if it was the other way around too. What a stupid rule. I'm sorry. Like, it went out of bounds. No one was going to recover it. Just call it out of bounds and put it at the 1. And I know, like, Gabe, you're probably up in arms right now because I'm well aware that that rule cost the Lions a game against the Seahawks back in 2016, I believe. It was a stupid rule then, too. I don't know. The official on the broadcast said he calls it a touchback. Yeah, there you go. When you fumble, like, when you fumble it out of bounds when it's not in the end zone, they don't, like, give it to the other team. What makes the goal line so special? I don't know. I'm sure there's some reason, and maybe I just don't understand, and maybe I'm being a blind fan that's upset that his team is about to get hosed, but that is just so, like, that is like an inch away from being a touchdown, and now the Eagles are going to get the ball. Football is unfair, I will say, and that's just part of the game. Football is unfair. Jefferson's about to go for 150 in the second half. That's all I'm going to say. And of course, they're going to just play all these commercials now when they've probably already made the call. I don't know what they're showing right now. It's some show on Prime. I will never watch this show ever, simply out of spite. This could be the greatest show of all time, but I'm so angry right now. I refuse to watch whatever Game of Thrones, Harry Potter knockoff this is. The saga continues. Wheel of Time. We do not care. Call on the field is down at the 1. KOC looks mad. Wow, congrats, Eagles. You really earned the ball there. Way to play good defense and earn your way to get the ball back. You know what? You guys definitely deserve the ball there. You guys worked so hard to get it. Clearly, you guys were the better team on that play, so therefore you deserve the ball. Vikings luck regressing to the mean from last year. Ain't that the truth? Ain't that is a fair point. This is so something that would have gone in the Vikings' favor last year. I mean, we literally won a game because Josh Allen fumbled the snap on a QB sneak when they could have just when that could have been the last play of the game. So I guess I can't be that upset. Maybe I can though, because this could end up being the turning point in this game. It's objectively the right call. Like, that is the rule. It's a silly rule. It was a difference in week 1. Hope it isn't in week 2. I mean, week 1 is another one of those games where it's like, you walk out of that game thinking, how the heck did we lose? But last year, as a Vikings fan, you walked out of those games like, how the heck did we win? Jeez. All right, we cannot let Philly get points off of this, though. Please just go into the locker room 10-7, be mad about it, and then come out, take it out on the field second half. That's really all we can do. For as much as I've been harsh on KOC, one thing he's been pretty good at is scripting plays coming out of the locker room. Our second half offense, like opening drives and second halves, are always really good. He's really good. Oh, boy. Eagles still have 2 timeouts. They could very well sneak points out of this. Go Bucks, respectfully. Hey, y'all are not an easy out. I mean, clearly. Y'all were not an out at all last week. Another commercial with the timeouts. Oh, there's the Kirk Cousins KFC commercial. Kirk fried chicken, baby. You know, I'm more of a Popeyes guy myself. But sometimes there's just something about original recipe that's just scratches an itch that Popeyes can't. I don't know. Like, in a vacuum, I definitely prefer Popeyes, but every once in a while, I don't know. It is one of my ultimate guilty pleasures is KFC. Back in the days of the KFC buffet. Good times. I have not had KFC in a minute, but Jefferson looks forlorn over on the sideline. I don't blame him. I'm sure it's just a tough break. That's really all it is. Oh, Hurts has all day. We only rushed 3. Oh, Ivan Pace just got bullied. I don't know if you guys saw that. He just got flattened. Honestly, that is a win for the defense right there, though. That play, look how much time it took off the clock. Now there's only 12 seconds left. Eagles still have a timeout, but they probably got to save that timeout to set up the field goal. They probably only get one more play to get into field goal range. Popcorn chicken. The popcorn chicken hit. Oh. Look at that. 9 rushing yards in the first half. And a lot of that is just chalked up to time of possession and game script. Like, of course, we weren't going to run the ball that much on the final drive. I guess I'm not as upset about that. But all right, here we go. Cannot let them get a big play right here. All right, maybe look at another play. They just took the check down here. But now they really got to get it. They've got 7 seconds left. It's 3rd down, 1 timeout. You can't spike the ball. You have to use your timeout. And I don't think they're quite in field goal range yet. I mean, what? Are they even in Vikings territory? Cannot let a big play happen here. Yeah, I don't think they're quite in Vikings territory, so they're not in field goal range yet. You cannot let a big play happen here whatsoever. Surely the Vikings won't mess this up, right? Let's see. 3rd down and 6. Come on. Oh, honestly, that is a pretty smart play call. It's still going to be a very long field goal, but that got him a decent amount of yards. QB draw with Hurts. Not the worst call in the world. Because you don't want to take too long with a pass because then you might run out of time. This is going to be a long kick, is it not? Is this going to be like a 60-yarder? He is making this, by the way. I mean, I don't know how many times I've said this. Kickers do not miss against the Vikings. That's why I was shocked when Jake Elliott missed earlier. He missed a 55-yarder earlier. How long is this one? This is a 61-yard field goal. 16%. He's going to drill this. He will make this. I promise you. He's going to make this kick. Here we go. Don't ice him. There's like a study that shows that icing the kicker doesn't work. I don't know. I guess do what you can. I am really hung up over these timeouts. Call me Dr. Timeout. If he misses, I don't know. But regardless, even if he makes this kick, being down 6 at halftime is a pretty good result. I'm a little sick because I feel like we could very well be tied or maybe even up, But we'll see. Here we go. Looks like there's only a tiny bit of wind. Kick is up, and it is good. Shocker. What did I tell you? Of course he makes it. That's tied for his career long, is it not? He has hit a 60-yarder before. He had a game-winning 61-yard field goal against the Giants in what I believe was week 2, 2016 or 17. It was when they had Wentz. What did I tell you? Like, I think that might be like a Twitter project for me. He barely got it in there. Oh. But I'm seriously, like, I'm going to go and, like, look, like, at kicker stats against the Vikings. Because I swear, like, this isn't even me just being like, oh, poor Vikings. Kickers do not miss against the Vikings. And it's not even that they don't miss. They're drilling, like, career bests. I mean, it literally happened last week. Chase McLaughlin hit a 57-yarder against us. Right? Yes, that's exactly what Gabe is saying in the chat. And, like, now Jake Elliott drills a 61-yarder. I'm not crazy. This is, like, a phenomenon. Maybe tonight, like, late tonight or tomorrow, I will, like, dive into some research. And I'll, like, past few years, just, like, kicker stats against the Vikings. Because, I don't know. I can't complain too much, right? Halftime score, 13-7. We're down 6. It's a 1-score game. Touchdown extra point gives us the lead. That's pretty good. That is better than I expected. However, there is a big part of me that's scared that, this was the half where we hang in with Philly. And I compared Philly to NDSU earlier, right? How many times have we, probably only Caden and my dad and maybe Parker can, like, understand what I'm talking about, but how many times have we seen NDSU, like, they might play a close game for the first half, and then the second half, they just run the ball down your throat, and they just bully you, and they put it to bed real quick. So you don't want to get too hung up on the missed chances because there's still another half to play, but man, against a good team like Philly on the road, those fumbles, those 3 fumbles, I guess. Yeah, 3 fumbles. Man, if even just one of those bounced our way, specifically the Jefferson one, like, those are just those small plays that add up. I don't know. Bro, Vikings D-line trash, LOL. Eagles going to run for 250. I think we've established at this point The Vikings are not winning the battle in the trenches, I will say. I'm curious how many yards the Eagles have run for so far. But there's a lot of trash on the Vikings, apparently. You know, they are on pace. They have 133 rushing yards at halftime. That's not ideal. Jeez Louise. All right, so it's halftime. We'll switch up the setup here a little bit. But yeah, to your credit, anything for clicks. 26 carries, 133 yards. Compare that to the Vikings' 4 rushes for 9 yards. I just can't help but feel like this is going to be a familiar story this season where teams just dominate time of possession against the Vikings. All right. So, we're at halftime. I had a few things planned for halftime. I don't know. I mean, I could talk about the game a little bit. They're talking about the game on TV, obviously. There's something else I kind of want to do. I don't know. What do you guys think? So, and again, like if you guys have anything you want to share about the game, maybe other games, like maybe you're looking forward to a good game this week. Maybe you want to talk about a game from last week. Again, at the end of the day, like I'm the streamer, but the audience is always right. So if there's anything you guys want me to do right now, I will say Crossover Grid also released a special Thursday Night Football edition grid, which features like Vikings and Eagles on it. I saw the tweet. I haven't played it yet or anything. I haven't been playing grids as much these days. I still play them from time to time, but sometimes I'll just do like one square. I'll get like my 0.5%, feel good about myself, and then go about my day. So they're showing right now on the screen, Eagles touchdown drive, ran the ball on 13 of 16 offensive plays. I mean, these two teams, they could not be more different in their offensive identity. Let's see how these prize picks things are doing right now. Again, I didn't play. How's everyone's bets doing right now? I know Caden and Parker, you guys had some money going. They have, interesting, so they have a discounted, I see the half, I get excited. It's just touchdowns. So pretty much, do you think Jalen Hurts will get a touchdown in the second half or not? At this point, I haven't played today. I'm not going to play. I might play Sunday. We'll see, but I had this tab open earlier to talk about a pregame, but time kind of ran out on me there. The game kind of just snuck up on me. I'm going to stretch my back out a little bit for a sec. Don't mind me. So, second half, Vikings get the ball. What should they do? The passing game has been working so far. As much as I want to say run the ball, that is a big reason why. And some of it has to do with just losing Cook. Some of it has to do with we're shorthanded on our offensive line. But even when we do run the ball, like it's just not been working very well. I don't know. I guess the passing game has been working. If we run the ball enough to keep Philly honest and keep our drive on schedule, set up play action, I'm okay with maybe throwing the ball a little bit more, but just don't. Let's try and limit the 3 and outs here. Let's put together here should be the goal for coming out of the locker room. Put together. Oh my gosh. Yo. Welcome to the stream, Tom Grossi. I hope I said your name right. I've seen you on Twitter before. I don't know if it's Grossi or Grossi. Oh my goodness, we have so many people in here right now. What is going on? Wow. All right, this is crazy. What the heck? Well, obviously I can't address each of you guys individually, but welcome to the stream. For those of you that don't know, my name is Dr. Pigskin. Well, that's not my government name, but yeah, I'm Dr. Pigskin. I'm an NFL content creator. I do live streams and video essays. Welcome to the stream. We're watching Eagles-Vikings right now, if you can't tell. I'm a Minnesota Vikings fan. We're down right now, but we're hanging in there. Wow. Look at that. People are going crazy right now. I don't know what to say, man. I was not prepared for this. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. I'm loving this. This is awesome. For those that might not know, and again, I'm sorry if I'm saying it. I don't know if it's Grossi or Grossi, but He is a Packers fan, also a content creator. He does stuff like this. He did some pretty cool stuff with, I believe it was St. Jude this offseason. He did like a stadium tour, so that was pretty cool. I don't know. People are here right now. Go check him out too. Like, obviously, I don't know. This is awesome. He's a Packers fan too, which is kind of ironic. But you know what? It's that Midwestern love. Shout out the Midwest. Won't hold the Vikings affiliation against me. Hey, we'll take it. You know, I'll say this. I went to Lambeau Field last year for the Vikings-Packers game, the one where the Vikings just got smoked. I got to hand it to Green Bay fans. They were super nice and welcoming. A lot of them, they're like, oh, like, where are you guys from? You know, we drove all the way from Fargo, North Dakota. Super chill fan base. Wow. It's crazy. There's, like, so many, I have my regulars in the stream right now. This is crazy. Oh, man. Shout out the Midwest. So, yeah. I don't know what to say. I'm going to take a drink of water, and then we'll get back into this. But Kirk has been playing fairly well so far. There's a lot of worries about primetime Kirk. He's held up pretty well against the pressure. He's only been sacked once, which I'm just noticing. I was about to say, I don't know if he'd really been sacked yet. I'm trying to remember when the sack was. But credit to the offensive line. I was so scared about our backup center going up against Jalen Carter. You have Ezra Cleveland, Ed Ingram, who were amongst the league leaders in pressures allowed last year, going up against a great Philly front. But they've kind of held their own so far. Wow. Seem like a good guy. I'm subscribing. I appreciate it. You know what, Joe? You seem like a good guy, too. I appreciate it. I've been to Wisconsin a few times. I've had a few family reunions out in Wisconsin. I don't know if any of you guys in here know Castle Rock Lake. It's over by Mauston, Wisconsin. Beautiful lake. I love that area. That place has a special place in my heart. Had some good times with my family there. I've been out to Madison once before. Obviously, I went to Green Bay. That was an awesome weekend. Me and my friends, we stayed over in Belgium, or not Belgium, Brussels, Wisconsin. If you guys know where that is, over by Sturgeon Bay. That was a cool little area. Our Airbnb was over by some farmland. That was an awesome experience. We got a Browns fan in here saying hello. Hey, how about those Browns, huh? How about a big win for the Browns? Defense looking good, shutting down the Bengals. Browns could make the playoffs in a tough AFC North. You want to talk about a team that plays a fun brand of football. If you want to know something about me, I love this ground and pound football. And so it kind of kills me that the Eagles are running it down our throats right now because I respect that brand of football. But the Browns, they got something going on right now. Go Bucks. Oh, we got another Bucks person in here. I tell you what, one of the day ones on this channel, one of my best friends, he actually works for the Buccaneers. So we had some friendly banter about that game. Tough loss, man. Woof. But you know what? It happens. How about those Lions? And the left sounds a little bit louder than the right. You're absolutely right, man. And for the people that are new here, I do apologize about that. This lovely mic that I have, I kind of just took it from my dad, who still might be in here. But for whatever reason, when I use it with iMovie to record my voiceovers, it works fine. If I try and use it for Premiere Pro for voiceovers, it sounds like this. If I use it with OBS for my streams, it sounds like this. So I do apologize. I hope you all are able to bear with me. Maybe someone that understands this technology a little bit better can tell me what's going on. But for whatever reason, one channel is a little bit louder than the right too. But we've got a lot in here to address. We've got 24 people in here now. This is crazy. Parker, one of my friends says Mahomes is washed. That's just Parker saying hot takes. I get to see Mahomes live week 5. I'm going to Vikings versus Chiefs with my dad. When I tell you I'm excited for that, I am excited for that. That's going to be awesome. Got a Broncos fan in here. Let's ride. I'm kind of high on the Broncos. Obviously, it was a tough loss last week, but give it some time. The defense still looks good. Sean Payton is there. They're showing on the screen right now. They play the Commanders. We'll see. I'll give it some time. Broncos are one of my playoff dark horses coming into the year. with how they remade the running game. They bring in Sean Payton. The defense is good. We'll see. Hopefully the second half can start here soon. We've just been sitting waiting for football to start again. I feel like everything I've talked about during the game, like, kind of covered at halftime too. But again, big drive for the Vikings here coming out second half. Would like to see some points at the bare minimum. At least put a few first downs together because, man, we just have not had a lot of the ball. If we can at the bare minimum put together a few first downs, that would be level 1. Level 2, get some points. Level 3, touchdown. We'll see. We got other people saying Mahomes is washed now. Not my GOAT. Well, depends on how you define GOAT. Brady obviously has a better career. I genuinely don't know that we've ever seen a more gifted player than Patrick Mahomes, though. We'll see, though. It's a compelling argument. Matthew says, I'm a Texans fan. Do you think C.J. Stroud will be good? I think you'll have to be maybe a little bit patient with him, but I absolutely do think there's a chance he'll be good. The wide receivers are obviously not super strong right now. I kind of feel for Stroud having to go from just the insane collection of weapons they have at Ohio State to like a past his prime Robert Woods leading the charge. But, for the record, I go to UGA. I'm a UGA student, so I definitely watched with my full intensity the UGA Ohio State game last year. That game was awesome for Stroud. That kind of sold me on Stroud of like, you know what, he can move around a little bit through on the run. I think my comp for him coming out of the draft is Dak Prescott. I think that's probably your best case scenario with CJ Stroud. If you're the Texans and you're a team that's trying to build up that defense with DeMeco Ryans, I think you take a Dak Prescott. So we'll see. We're going to switch back to the full cam now with the game going. I don't want to like spoil anything with the ESPN screen. And for anyone new here too, like, I've had a few people ask me like, oh, why am I not showing the game on my stream right now? Well, I don't want the NFL to come in here and raid me literally as to like where they take the stream down because they take that stuff pretty seriously. But yeah. All right, first play of the second half. Hey, we run the ball. Madison. All right. Commitment to the run. That's all I ask. I get it's not going to be pretty sometimes. I get we're not going to rip off big chunk plays, and Madison is just not as explosive as Cook is. You know, it's a 1-yard gain, but it's better than an incomplete pass. We'll see what we do here now, though. Is that C.J. Ham in the backfield? No. And here we go. So, I guess we had to wait a half for this. Down goes Kirk. Ball comes out. Fletcher Cox recovers. This is what I was worried about, that interior pressure. And, you know, Kirk is just a guy that can't really move around. Yeah. Was that even from the interior? A little bit, yeah. Is that sweat coming in off the edge? Man, all right. Oh, jeez. Well, that is tough indeed. And yes, the mic is a little weird. We are going to work on that. That is going to be the next project here. Again, I apologize. Especially if you're wearing earbuds, I get it's probably annoying coming out of one ear and not the other. But we're getting there. Baby steps, you know? So that was worst case scenario. I talked about the 3 levels of like good for the Vikings. That was the basement. And Swift is going to go down at the 1 now. I mean, we know what's coming next, right? It's going to be the Jalen Hurts push. Jeez. All right. CB says, I got $50 on the Packers, have a better season than the Bears with one of my friends. That's a pretty good looking bet right now. Hey, the Packers blew the doors off the Bears last week. Here we go. Jalen Hurts. If you're playing Prize Picks and you took the Jalen Hurts like discounted touchdown, there you go. That was inevitable. Man. All right. 2 plays and they got it. Jeez. Okay, here we go. Okay. So defective support is saying something. I wonder if the sound is being processed in mono channel in your videos versus separate for these streams. Maybe you can check your mic channels for the live stream apps. I don't know who you are, defective support, but shout out to you. This is funny because I actually took a video journalism class last semester and they kind of taught us about that. I might have to Google some of that stuff, or if like you could explain it to me like I'm a 5-year-old. I mean, I'm like aware of what channels are, and like when I look at the audio mixer on OBS, I clearly see that like the left side is just like much louder than the right. But yeah, I will look into that though. I've used OBS a little bit with some of my previous jobs, but I've never used it for live streaming outside of a few streams I've done here. Joe says, Bears talked a lot of crap for a team that had the #1 overall pick last year. Yeah, they kind of did, didn't they? Hey, if there's a lot of Packers fans in here, I think me as a Vikings fan and you guys as Packers fans can agree. We're not too fond of the Chicago Bears. And, you know, hey, if there's any Bears fans in here, no disrespect, like, obviously, like, you guys have a right to be excited about your team. Justin Fields is exciting. You know, it's been a while since you guys have had an exciting quarterback like that. And again, it's a long season, but man, if you're a Packers fan, you feel great. If you're a Bears fan, you probably feel sick right now. Gabe says, Dr. Pigskin is the best person ever. That's a bit extreme. I'll take it. Thank you. But still got 20 people in here doing pretty good. But shout out to all the Raiders, and I'm not talking Vegas. Wow. That is crazy. Tried to warn you that O-line is garbage. Oh, I'm aware. I mean, I've talked about it a lot. The offensive line has not been looking good. And it came back to bite us dearly there. We cannot let that like get us down though. There's still a lot of game left. It's what, a 13-point game? A lot of ball game left. Whatever we had planned for that opening drive for the second half, let's just do it now. We spotted him another touchdown. It stinks, but he's got to go back out there. Maybe a top 3 person. Who are your top 3 people of all time? I don't know who my top 3 people of all time would be. Probably my family, which, oh, I know. Well, I don't even know what I'm saying. Like, oh, I know. Like, that is probably a normal person's answer, but there are plenty of videos out there on how to balance them well. I will look into that after the stream. I'll be honest, I might just keep it rolling for the rest of this stream because, I don't know, it's like halftime. I don't want to like mess around too much, but I tell you what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to screenshot what you said, and then I'm going to have some fun on YouTube tonight looking into this. My grandma, my mom, and Dr. Pigskin. Wow. I make the cut with your grandma and mom. High expectations for me. That's sweet, though. Hope your grandma and mom are doing well. You beat up my dad, who was close fourth. That's funny. You're funny, Joe. I like you. All right. Interesting looking kickoff. Here we go. Now it's 20-7. Let's string together a drive here, offense. They're showing the Jefferson-Slay matchup right now. I mean, Jefferson's won his fair share of routes. I feel like holding him to 50 yards in the first half, you're pretty happy if you're the Eagles. You know, I mean, he had like, 130 in the first half last week. You definitely live with that. He is not like destroyed the Eagles, you know? That fumble, man, that stinks. All right, play action. Screen to Madison. Here we go with the screens on first down again. I mean, okay. And to be fair, right, you're a genius if they work, and you're a dunce if they don't. So I get that. Like, it's easy for me to say, like, what are we doing? But, man, 52, Cunningham. He read that. I think that's what, Zach Cunningham? He read that play pretty well. He was ready. All right, Kirk's got some time now. No one really seemed to win on that. Check down to Madison. What do you think happens with Kirk after the season? Well, so this has kind of been my take for a while. I think the Vikings would have to do something pretty incredible for Kirk Cousins to be our quarterback next year, in my opinion. I think, you know, the Vikings had every chance to extend him this past offseason, and they didn't. They restructured his contract, actually, so that he'd cost less this year. I think that's pretty telling. More on that here after the 3rd and 13. Big play. Here comes the pass rush. They're ready to tee off. Yeah, not there. Addison was clamped the whole time. Well, a 3 and out is not a good response after a turnover. Maybe this is where the other shoe drops. But to go back to what you were saying, Shadow Stepo 4, Kirk Cousins is, 35, going to be 36 years old soon. And, don't get me wrong. I have enjoyed the Kirk Cousins era. I'm definitely on the younger side of fans, right? Like, I've been a fan since 2009, not to, age myself or anything. I am well aware that the Vikings having stability at quarterback is an extremely rare thing, and I get it. And there's a certain sense of security that comes with knowing who your quarterback is every year. However, especially after last season, which they're showing on the screen right now, 11-0 in one-score games in the regular season, and then one and done in the postseason, I just can't help but feel like last season was about as good as it gets with Kirk Cousins as your quarterback. And he does a lot of things really well. He can run an offense. He's got a great arm, right? Like, he could really throw the football. He can hit some nice throws. But he really struggles with pressure. He's not very mobile. He can't buy extra time. And I don't know if it's a mental thing, but he just makes these silly mistakes that can kill drives, and I don't know. So, also, Hicks is there against Hurts again. Jordan Hicks came to play today. You got to tip your cap to him. He's had a good game, especially against Jalen Hurts. That's like his third big tackle on Hurts now. But long story short, I just feel like Kirk has hit his ceiling. He's getting older. He still is fairly expensive, and he would cost a lot to keep. Even though it might hurt and the Vikings might win 6 games next year, moving on from him, I just can't help but feel like we have to do something because we have reached as far as we can with Kirk Cousins. That's my 2 cents. Hand off there to DeAndre Swift. Swift has been having a game. There's a reason he was a popular waiver wire ad in fantasy this week. I mean, with Kenny Gainwell out, he's getting more touches against this incredible offensive line. Joe says, no joke, my uncle taught Kirk Cousins in school. Not to dox myself too much. Really? That's awesome. Huh. I wonder if he has any stories about what he was like as a student. I don't know if you're allowed to share that or not. I don't want to pry or anything, but I'm interested. What was he like as a student, if you know? I've got some interesting Dr. Pigskin lore related to school that I'll share here after this 3rd and 4. Ooh, Lane Johnson timed up the snap. Uh-oh. Yeah. Devontae burned him. Touchdown. There's the big play. That is the downside of a Brian Flores defense. You just put a lot on these corners to win one-on-one matchups. And when you're going up against A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, and you have a young, inexperienced group of corners, man. Harry just didn't even know. You can't even put that much on a Caleb Evans there. He thought Harry was going to be back there. He still got ran by, but I don't know. Oh, boy. All right, now we're about to be down 20. Now we're starting to get to the point where we're playing for pride. The Eagles have scored 2 touchdowns in less than 5 minutes. Yikes. All right. Well, on a little bit of a lighter note, not to dox myself too much. I guess I'm not. I don't live there anymore. But fun fact about me, and this is true. You can look this up. I went to the same elementary school as Joe Burrow. Look up Joe Burrow Centennial Elementary, or maybe Joe Burrow Fargo, right? I'm from Fargo, North Dakota. I went to Centennial Elementary. And for, I believe, 2 years, Joe Burrow went there because his dad was a coach over at North Dakota State. That is a true fact. Joe Burrow and I had the same 2nd grade teacher. We weren't in class together. He's a little bit older than me. But Joe Burrow and I had the same exact 2nd grade teacher. And for someone that's from Fargo, that is just wild to say out loud. But yeah, that is, I mean, seriously, I have a picture on my phone, of my sister's yearbook, because my sister's a little bit older than me. For all I'm pretty sure that my sister was in school the same time that he was. But yeah, no, Joe Burrow lived in Fargo for 2 years. That is a true story. That is like one of the most wild facts about me. Shout out NDSU. Horns up, baby. I go to UGA. I claim NDSU and UGA as my teams, which I got to say is a pretty charmed life. I don't watch college football like that. I'm definitely more of an NFL guy, but man, I hit the college football lottery. I really did. I think top like all-time favorite sports moment has to be the Minneapolis Miracle. You might see the picture up behind me. I was at that game with my dad. That was incredible. Legitimately one of the greatest days of my life. I think my number 2 sports moment, though, was the first national championship for Georgia when they beat Alabama. I mean, going to UGA while they won it all, watching that with my friends, we just like ran around campus and like ran around downtown just like yelling and celebrating the whole night. That was awesome. There's like a little fountain. I don't know how much you guys know about UGA, but they have like this historic fountain over like near campus, like between campus and downtown. It's over by Hurdy Field where UGA played their first football game. And we jumped in the fountain and it was cold as heck, but it was awesome. Parker says he is in my yearbook. Yeah, Parker Wieland, another Centennial Elementary guy. Centennial Cubs before they changed it to the Eagles. I like the Cubs more personally, but yeah, that's my friend Parker in the chat right there. Big Joe Burrow guys. Man, we are getting dog walked in this game. I can't even be that mad. I mean, Philly just is the better team. What can you really do? We're just hanging out here at this point. This is like that time of the night, you know, maybe you have your friends over for Thursday night football. The game's starting to get out of hand, and then one of your friends is like, all right, like, what's the weirdest thing about you, you know? Everyone's had a moment like that before. At this point, I mean, you just want to see some life from the offense. Something. But how about the Minnesota Gophers? You know, I'll admit, like, I don't follow the Gophers as much. I'm not sure if you're referring to football or hockey, maybe. I don't know. I've never been big into the Gophers. I think it's because NDSU has just had such a big presence. You know, I grew up watching NDSU football. And when I watched college hockey, I would watch UND. So I know a lot of people that do not like the Gophers. I'll say that. Bitter rivals, University of North Dakota and University of Minnesota. Classic. That is like, I don't want to say it's like hockey's version of Ohio State, Michigan, but it's pretty close. They do have a great hockey team. Great program. All right. Hey, all right. Pad the stats a little bit. Get Jefferson the ball. I mean, again, like, you know, for as much bad stuff as happened, there's 10 minutes left here in the third quarter. You know, if we're going to get crazy here, right? And again, like, you know, odds are this doesn't happen. If 33 points is not too much for the Vikings, who says that this is? But am I a Wild fan? A little bit. I watch maybe a few Wild games a year, and like I'll watch them when they're in the playoffs. I'm actually not as big of a hockey fan as you might expect, being someone that like is from the upper Midwest. I mean, like, Kaprizov is cool. But I don't know. I've never watched the Wild that much. NFL is definitely like my main jam. Like, I just definitely like I'm all in on the NFL. MLB is probably number 2. I do love the Twins, who I think are playing right now. Hey, they're going to be in the playoffs. We'll see if they can snap the curse or not. Jefferson can't hold on. He's a little frustrated. He wants a call. I don't know. That seems a little clean. It's just not happening. This is what I talked about at halftime a little bit. It's just like sometimes when you're just playing a better team, you can hang in there for a half. And especially a physical team like the Eagles that can run the ball and just get up in your grill defensively. You can hang in with them for a half. And if you get good opportunities, you best be sure that you take them, you know? That's why, like, that touchback just hurts so much. 3rd and 10. Here we go. Another 3rd and long. The bane of our existence. Play clock is running out. Kirk has a little bit of time. Hey, he steps up in the pocket. Deep shot. Addison. Oh, we scoring all night. Let's get paid. Interesting choice to shush the crowd. I feel like we're still maybe down a little bit too much to be doing that. But, oh my goodness, did we need that. Oh, baby. All right. There is a pulse. I can feel it. There is a slight pulse. Good job by Kirk right here. Look at that. They're showing it right now, breaking it down. Look at him step up in the pocket. That's Kirk at his best. For as much as I get on him about not being able to roll out or scramble or throw on the run, if you give him the chance to step up, he can step up and throw the football. I started Jordan Addison in fantasy this week. Let's go. All right. Kaylin asks, would you be on board with Kirk signing for another 2 to 3 years? To be honest, that would not be my first choice. I kind of touched on this a little bit already. I recognize that Kirk Cousins is a pretty good quarterback. I think I would have to see how much money it was for. But again, I just really feel like that we've hit our ceiling with Kirk Cousins last year. And with how much money he's probably going to command, and the fact that we will probably have to pay Jefferson, we will have to pay Jefferson. We will have to pay Darisaw. We just paid TJ Hawkinson a lot of money. Like, that's just a lot of money on a few players. And as good as Kirk is, there is a part of me, and maybe it's just that I'm bored with Kirk at this point, but I would like to see something different. Take a shot. And again, the Vikings had every chance to extend him this offseason, and they didn't. I think that's pretty telling. I just really think we'd have to see Kirk Cousins play the best football of his life to get another contract. It seems like the Vikings front office is ready to move on. But you know what? That's why they play the games. It's a long season. He got his numbers last week. But I also think that last week is just like the perfect embodiment of Kirk Cousins, the Kirk Cousins experience. You look at his box score and you think, wow, like he was amazing, he was dealing. And he had some great plays, obviously. But the Vikings scored 17 points and they lost. The pressure that Tampa was bringing up the middle really got to him on a few plays. There are a few plays that, like, maybe he just didn't have the best throw. Like, he had a few high throws to KJ Osborne. The big third down late in the game on one of our 2 3-and-outs in the fourth quarter. He had Addison, and, it was a really tough throw. I think it was actually the last play from scrimmage for the Vikings. It was to Jordan Addison, and he had him open. And granted, it was a super tough throw. You're throwing across the field from one hash to the other sideline. Like, you really have to, like, sling that ball. If he hits that throw, it's a first down. And I don't want to be too nitpicky because, again, like, he had, 350 yards? And there was, a play where Madison was open in the end zone, but Kirk was on the move and rolling out. And honestly, a lot of quarterbacks probably hit that throw on the run, but Kirk just is not as good throwing off platform. And so it's just those plays that he can't quite make. And I tell you what, I actually have a video out about Kirk Cousins. It's a bit goofy, but I had some fun with it, But I think it explains my feelings about Kirk Cousins a little bit better than I am right now. But those are the main points, is that he's just a little immobile, which is not really the wave. You miss out on big plays or even just, picking up those 5 yards that really add up. And there's just these weird moments. I don't know. But he is playing right now, though. Get an offensive line, maybe. See, I get to, the Vikings have had a pretty rough go about it with the offensive line. But also, again, you look at, Kirk Cousins being the most hit quarterback in the league past few years, always taking a lot of sacks. Some of that is on him, though. A lot of those hits are him just, holding on to the ball and no one's open. And where a lot of quarterbacks, they can maybe either run around and try and give the receivers an extra second to get open, or they can just run, pick up a few yards. He just can't do that, and you just kind of have to live with that. I mean, it's not even his fault. It's not his fault he wasn't born with elite athleticism, but the one thing I'd really think is interesting is that the year that the Vikings had Case Keenum, their offensive lines, their pass protection stats are actually pretty decent. Keenum didn't get hit a bunch. He didn't take a bunch of sacks. And Keenum was actually pretty athletic. He could move around, and that was his calling card. You just run around, Diggs and Thielen would get open. And then as soon as Kirk comes in, the offensive line starts looking really poor. So again, I get some of it is, like, to your credit, Dan, some of it is the offensive line. But I think that the quarterback does no favors. I mean, look at the Dolphins last week, right, with Tua. Teron Armstead, Dolphins' best offensive lineman, star left tackle, is out. You look at the Dolphins' offensive line, and outside of that, it's not super deep. And the Chargers actually got a decent amount of pressure. I picked the Chargers to win that game because I thought that they would get a lot of pressure on Tua. But Tua was able to move around, buy time, make plays out of structure, had the best game of his career, in my opinion, and the Dolphins won, even though they were missing their best offensive lineman. So, I don't know. I think it can be easy to blame the offensive line, and certainly they deserve some of it, but some of it is on the quarterback too. That's my take. Anyways, back to the game now. I've been talking for a while. 2nd and 11. I mean, we're still hanging in there. It's a 2-score game now. Good tackle, Byron Murphy. Vikings tackling has been pretty good today. That is a welcome sight. See, you look at like the 27 points up on the board. I still feel pretty good about the way the defense is played, though. I don't know. Also, sorry, my AirPods, sometimes they'll like get really staticky. Big 3rd and 6. Also, speaking of the Twins, they just won 10-2. That's always good. Oh, we have some whistles. Is that a full start? Oh, here we go. All right, 3rd and 11 now. Uh-oh, the Vikings are going to make Eric believe a little bit. Also, my name is Eric, for those that don't know. I just dropped my actual first name. But you can call me the doctor. Doc. What? You can call me whatever you want, honestly. No penalties for the Vikings. Interesting. They just showed that on the screen. All right. Let's get a stop. Get the ball back to our offense. This is a big 3rd down. Every 3rd down is big. You know what I mean. They're rushing 3 again. They have another spy on Hurts. Hey, tackle. There we go. All right. More good tackling. They force the check down. Really, outside of those 2 deep balls to Devontae Smith, it has just been a lot of dink and dunk from the Eagles. We've got a game. I smell a game cooking here. It's not over. Dan says, I like Kirk. I'd say send him back to Washington, but our O-line is worse. Kirk in Washington would actually be kind of fun. Coming back to Washington. I don't know. I feel like, yeah, the Washington offensive line definitely doesn't have like the star power of the Vikings. You know, Vikings have 2 great tackles. The interior is questionable. That might be kind of fun though. Kirk returning to Washington under new ownership. Hey, you say I wonder, are you a Commanders fan? Because if you are, hey, those are some pretty good looking wide receivers you guys have. That D line is nasty. Obviously, like, a close win against the Cardinals, like, people might make fun, but you got out of there with a win. The Commanders are a sneaky team, too. I'm interested to see how Sam Howell plays this season. But I wonder, are you a Commanders fan? If so, you have my respect. You want to talk about a fan base that's been through it. Oh, man. Good riddance, Dan Snyder. That's what I'll say. Vikings are pretty lucky. The Wolves are pretty good owners, I feel like. They seem to care about the team. I just finished watching the John Boyes, Alex Rubenstein documentary on the Vikings the other day. Man, that is awesome. If you have like 7 hours on your hands, just like over the course of a week, seriously, go watch it. It is so cool. They did my team justice. I loved it. You are a Commanders fan. All right, look at that. We've got a lot of fan bases represented here tonight. I like to see that. Hey, 1-0. You know, who do you guys play next week? Commanders. Denver. That's right. They were teasing that game earlier. That's a winnable game. That is a winnable game. Still call them the original name. I tell you what. I was over in Social Circle, Georgia the other day. And their high school, they also use that original name. I was there for work. I was covering a softball game. Good old Prince Avenue. Caden says Jefferson really needs to shave that beard. It's very Peach Fuzz-esque. It's just like big Peach Fuzz, honestly. I don't know. Has he? I feel like he hasn't had facial hair before. Like he started growing out that beard last year. I'm gonna look up a picture of Justin Jefferson right now. He's never struck me as the facial hair kind of guy. I guess he's had a little bit. I don't know. It's not the worst thing in the world. I've seen worse. Let my king be. People are agreeing. Okay, maybe not. Maybe he should shave it. Or maybe he should just go all out and like really grow it out. Get like a Jason Kelsey beard. I'm trying to think of like a wide receiver that has like crazy facial hair like that. And he says, stop, please. Let my king cook. All right, here we go. Big drive. Back to the game. Madison with a hole. Yardage. All right. Process. Progress. Trust the process. You know, if we can get a score here, I mean, we probably have to get a touchdown. Field goal doesn't do us much good. Down 13. Still would be a 2-score game. Here's Kirk on the move. All right. Positive yards. Jordan Addison. Another third down, though. I don't think we can't keep counting on those big plays to be there for us. What do we do here? It's third and short. Probably a little too gutsy to turn it into 4-down territory. Unless we get, like, really close. Like, if it's 4th and 1, I'd think about it. But Caden and Christine and CB all think that Jefferson should shave, as there's just nothing there on third down. Cousins on the ground. So let's see what happened here on the replay. I'm assuming Jefferson was the first read. Ingram gets beat, and he just put it out too far. I mean, even if Jefferson caught it, he's probably getting tackled short of the sticks. He just had to get it out of there. Honestly, I will say this. I am very mean to Ed Ingram, and maybe rightfully so. But he's actually not been a complete liability tonight. There were so many jokes about Ed Ingram going up against like Jalen Carter leading up to this game. Like I'm seeing like non-Vikings fans talk about Ed Ingram now, which usually is not a good sign. Like if other fan bases have started to pick up on how bad you are. But he has not been like a complete liability. He was worse last week, I'll tell you that. Based off the eye test. Now they're showing the 2 big plays to Devontae. You know, I don't want to jinx it. A.J. Brown hasn't done much. Now, when Devontae Smith has 3 catches for 123 yards, I don't think the Eagles really care. But A.J. Brown hasn't done a whole lot. It's kind of crazy to think Devontae might be just as good as A.J. Brown. Man, we've got so many good wide receivers in the league right now. Man, look at them push the pile. They got like a few extra yards out of that. You look at that play and it's like, oh, they wrapped it up pretty well. But, well, it's going to be like 2nd and 6 now maybe. Look at that. 150 rushing yards to what, 24? 50 plays to 35. Double time of possession. If this was not happening to my team right now, I'd be beaming. I mean, the Eagles know who they are. They play their brand of football really well. They're not going to try and be something they're not. And Swift breaks away. Man, so much for the good tackling. First down. Joe says, love John Boys. I love him too, man. He makes some excellent content. He's a Falcons documentary too. I don't know if there's the Falcons boys in here still. A few Falcons fans that follow this channel. He's got the Mariners documentary. If you want something shorter too from him, he has a video on the 2010 San Diego Chargers. That one's like 16 minutes. That one's pretty good too. That's a fascinating team to look at. First ranked in total offense, first ranked in total defense, and they missed the playoffs. Crazy. Eagles with another decent gain on first down. We are not getting the ball back till the 4th quarter, are we? That seems to be the vibes. They are content to just milk this clock. I don't blame them. I will say if Philly scores here, it's probably over. First down, Swift, like clockwork. Still on his feet. Man. I mean, it just looks like a Herculean task to take him down. Wow. All right. Swift has been running hard. It's not even just the line. Like, Swift has been running like a man possessed tonight. Kalen says, do you think the Vikings are more towards a rebuild, or do you think they're a few pieces away? It's interesting you ask that, because what the front office has done, it seems like they're kind of trying to toe the line a little bit as Swift goes for another 9 yards. I think I've heard the word soft rebuild so much over the past year. I personally think they're closer towards a rebuild. I think they already kind of started that process with all the vets they unloaded. I mean, think about it. Dalvin Cook, gone. Adam Thielen, gone. Patrick Peterson, gone. Zadarius Smith, gone. Eric Kendricks, gone. Harrison Smith was almost gone. So they've definitely made a concentrated effort to get younger, which I respect. You know, when Kwesi and KOC came and took this team over, they pretty much inherited the Zimmer-Spielman era, like the dying breaths of the Zimmer-Spielman era. And they won 13 games, and it was a really fun season. I mean, don't get me wrong. I loved that year last year. It was so much fun. End result was tough, but, man, some memorable games. I do respect, though, that they kind of looked at that and they're like, you know what, that wasn't really real. Like, some people might have tried to run it back, like, oh, yeah, we're bringing back Z. We're bringing back Dalvin Cook. But we didn't. And so that makes me believe we're probably leaning more towards a rebuild, and I'm okay with that. Like, we've just kind of been in this weird no man's land for the past few years where, like, our ceiling is like a first-round exit. You know what I'm saying? And as much as it might hurt, maybe it's time to just, like, and I don't even know, like, what feasibly we can do, because, like, you don't want to just, like, oh, rebuild, like, trade Jefferson, trade Darisaw. Like, no, don't do that. Like, keep some good players. But it's kind of, like, fully rebuilding is, like, foreign territory for the Vikings. For those that have watched the John Boy's documentary, something that I learned from that is fascinating. And, like, I'm going to even have to double check this. Like, I'm sure they're right. The Vikings have never had 3 straight losing seasons. And I believe every other NFL franchise has, but the Vikings have not. They've never had 3 straight losing seasons. And so, like, it's just like, yeah, CB says it's time to bite the bullet, I'd say. I'd agree, but it is a very foreign concept for this organization. This has always been an organization that has prided itself in, like, we will always be good. Every once in a while, we'll be really good. And then we'll usually let you down, but, you know, whatever, right? But, you know. Daddy Dutch BBQ says, for crying out loud, the Vikings cannot stop the run. I love it. Go, Pack, go. Oh, we got some more Packers fans in here. I mean, you're right. We can't. I mean, anything for clicks. You're looking pretty good right now with your 250 rushing yards projection. The Eagles are currently at 187. We got a quarter of football left. Also, we have a penalty called on the Vikings now. Is that on Harrison Phillips? Yeah. No, to be fair, most teams can't stop the run against the Eagles, but this has been bad. I mean, I've already fully accepted, like, we're starting the season 0-2. I just really don't like when they cut to Jefferson on the bench and he's just, like, doing whatever. Anytime Jefferson is not smiling, I think, oh my gosh, it's over. He's a Bengal. Like, it's over. He's a Chief. Moss left. Harvin left. Diggs left. Let's not make the same mistake. All good. Big football fan overall. Respect. Hey, like, you know, I always respect people repping their teams. And I actually said this on an earlier stream. I'm not sure if Caden, one of our resident Packers fans here, clipped it, but I genuinely do respect the Packers as an organization. I like the way they do things. I think it's so cool that they're, like, owned by the fans, and, like, people make fun of it and, like, oh, like, these fans walk around thinking they're owners. I think that's kind of cool. I don't know if there's any soccer fans in here, but like that's a pretty common practice in Germany too. So I don't know. And like I've been to Lambeau. That was awesome. I do respect the Packers. Obviously come game time, like, Skull Vikings. And like overall, like I would love for the Vikings to finish with a better record than the Packers. But, who do you think takes the NFC North this year? Probably the Lions, right? The Lions seem like the odds-on favorite. I mean, they beat the Chiefs, who granted were shorthanded, but I mean, think about how many times I, as a Vikings fan, said this last year. A win is a win. They got out of there with a win. They look much improved on defense. They're another team that I feel like has a capped ceiling with Jared Goff. Goff is pretty close to Kirk, and I think a lot of Vikings fans might not like to hear that, but I honestly believe that, like, really, how big is the difference between Jared Goff and Kirk Cousins? I don't know. I would say Green Bay has a shot too, especially with how good they looked against the Bears. If Jordan Love can just do his thing, he doesn't need to be Aaron Rodgers. They have a great running game. They have a great offensive line. I mean, they did that without their best receiver, Christian Watson. The defense on paper looks really good. I say on paper because I feel like they underperformed a little bit last year, but they've got great players. I think the Bears finished last. I still think the Bears are the worst team. I don't want to overreact too much off of one game. Going into the season, I had Lions 1, Vikings 2, Packers 3, Bears 4. I think, also my AirPods died. Hopefully this doesn't affect too much. Like, hopefully y'all can still hear me pretty well. But I charged these beforehand. I don't know. They've just been in my ears for a while. I'll charge them up more. But hopefully y'all can still hear me okay. But I might put the Packers at 2 in the division now. I don't know. I thought we were going to, like, split the series going into the season. We'll see. Caden says, how does it feel to have majority Packers fans in your stream? Peasant. Hey, I don't care who you root for. You're in my stream. You're watching my stuff. I recognize I might be outnumbered a little bit here, but it is what it is. All eyes on me. That's how I like it. CB says, Vikings and most likely Bears 0-2 this week. Sounds like a good weekend. If you're a Packers fan, that sounds like a great weekend. Lions or Green Bay win the division. Vikings cooked. It's not looking good. It's not looking good. The Vikings have like a tough schedule to start off too. Like they have the Chiefs week 5. They also have the Chargers. There's a chance they start like 1-4. 0-5 maybe even. I mean, that would be terrible, but hey, Jets, I heard you need a quarterback. Give us your first for Kirk Cousins. How about that? That was a game. That Monday night game, that was incredible. I mean, I feel bad for Rodgers getting hurt. I recognize majority Packers stream here right now, like maybe not the biggest Aaron Rodgers lovers. I'm curious. For the Packers fans in here, where do you stand on Aaron Rodgers? I know Caden isn't a big Rodgers guy, but I'm curious. Lions are going to be a tough out this year. They were a tough out last year. They're probably going to be they will probably be better this year. If the offense can stay around where they were last year, the defense already looks a lot better. People made fun of how they drafted, but they got good players. Little short. If you're the Eagles, do you just go for it and just keep milking the clock, or do you take the 3? If they took the 3, they'd be up 16, a 2-score game. I would probably go for it here if I was the Eagles. Get the 1 yard, keep the clock moving. If I'm the Eagles, I'm going for it. Cook probably missing the Vikings right now. He might not stay with the Jets next year. Is he really missing the Vikings right now watching this game? Watching Alexander Madison get like 10 yards? Is he really missing us that much? I don't know. It's still early in the season. We'll see where it goes. Kirky Cuz nude. Vikings going to win the Super Bowl. I like your attitude, Jake. I really do. Unfortunately, I don't agree, but I do like the spirit. I still wanted to watch him play with the Jets. Looked forward to it. See? Me too. I just wanted to see it. And I empathize with Jets fans so much. That is a fan base that has been through the ringer, especially at the quarterback position. Hurts is going to roll out. Oh, there's A.J. Brown. Touchdown Eagles. Flag down. We'll see if it stands. We'll see. It might be holding. It might not count. But, yeah, it's not going to count. Cool. One of my favorite facts about the NFL is this. So Joe Namath was the first 4,000-yard passer in league history, right? Did it for the Jets. I believe it was 1967. He's also the only 4,000-yard passer in Jets history. They had the first 4,000-yard passer, and they have not had one since. That is just crazy. I mean, they went through Zach Wilson. They had Mark Sanchez, Geno Smith, Sam Darnold, like just in the past, like, 10, 15 years. And they finally get like this Hall of Fame quarterback on this team that just looks so good. The defense looks amazing. Garrett Wilson looks incredible. Breece Hall looks incredible. And they get 4 snaps with him. I feel gutted for Jets fans. I found myself rooting for the Jets in that game, especially after he went down. There's like a weird part of me that's like really rooting for Zach Wilson now. Like there's been, here comes another deep ball. They tried to go to Brown again. Oh, come on, dude. You didn't even make the catch, and you're going to step over our guy? Come on. Cool, you're up 2 touchdowns. You're going to win. I'm going to let you guys in on a maybe not so well-kept secret. I do not like the Eagles for a couple of reasons. I mean, okay, did a Caleb Evans maybe get away with pass interference there? Yeah. Like, maybe did he get beat? Yeah. I don't know. Cool. You stepped over a guy on an incomplete pass. Good for you. But, you know, so much has been made of Zach Wilson. It's been kind of low-hanging fruit to dunk on him, and, like, I don't know. I just see names like Carson Wentz being floated around for the Jets, and it's like, is that really any better than just trotting out Zach Wilson? He's been in the building. He knows the offense. He knows the team. That pick to Matt Milano was pretty bad on Monday. Am I crazy for saying that outside of that, he wasn't terrible? Like, obviously, you know, the offense didn't score a lot. But his stats after the interception, he was like, what, 9 for... I saw a tweet somewhere. It was like 9 for 11 or something like that. 9 for 13. The pick was bad. Like, he does need to fix that, especially for a team like the Jets who, like, can win those ugly games. They can just, like, win while holding the other team to 16 points. Like, you just can't turn the ball over like that. So he does need to figure that out. If he can be like an average game manager, they still might make the playoffs. The rest of the team is just so good. I mean, they were, 5-2 with Wilson last year before, like, Breece Hall went down and Elijah Vera Tucker went down. Robert Saleh said that in his press conference. And obviously they have to believe in him, you know. They can't do anything right now, but Joe says the Jets are legit cursed. They are. And you know what? They have a Super Bowl, but that was so long ago. I mean, how many Jets fans at that game on Monday were alive for that Super Bowl, let alone remember it? I do feel bad for Jets fans. I really do. And it's New York teams, like, it is hard for me to sympathize towards New York teams, but man, the poor Jets. I mean, if their defense was great, Aaron Rodgers might not be injured right now. It was just a freak play. It stinks. I don't know. It's hard to, like, blame anything. Anything for Click says that was PI. It was. I don't know. They're probably going to score anyways. They're going to show it again. Yes, we see that Caleb Evans got beat by A.J. Brown. What a shocker. I'm a little salty right now. I'm not going to lie. Just throw it to him next play. He'll probably beat him again. Oh, and now he's getting massaged on his calf. He's not out on the field. Interesting. All right, empty set for the Eagles here on 2nd and 20. 3-man rush again. A lot of 3-man rushes today. And look at that. He's got all day. Now we're going to close in on him. Down he goes. Daniil cleans up. Nice little coverage sack to pad the stats there. That'll help him come contract negotiation time. They're going to show how long. I mean, normally the ball's out by this point. You know what? The rule is like 2.5 seconds. The ball should be out, or you should be like running or throwing it away. Almost 9 seconds. That's obscene. 3rd and 23. I'm not going to lie. I did not expect the Vikings to have more sacks than the Eagles tonight. I think that's what's frustrating, is that the Eagles only got 2 sacks, and yet we still only have 14 points. It's not even like the predictable, like, oh, Kirk got sacked 8 times, you know? Another sack right there. Daniil getting home again. The defense came to play today. Yeah, they gave up a few big plays, but just with how inexperienced the Vikings are in their secondary, I really don't know what else you can ask from them. I feel like just watching this game, I feel all right about how the defense played. Again, like just with how much has been invested in this offense. 17 points last week. That's just not enough. 14 points this week. That's just not enough. When you have an offensive coach, when you have a quarterback making a lot of money, when you spend your first-round pick on a wide receiver, when you spent a first-round pick on a wide receiver a few years ago, when you pay your tight end who you traded for a lot of money, like that's just a lot being poured into this offense. We are not built to like win low-scoring games, and it's a little frustrating. Now, surely, Vikings fans, the most rational people on planet Earth, are handling this healthily right now on Twitter and Reddit. Surely, right? Man, you want to meet a negative group of people, Vikings fans, and maybe rightfully so. It's funny because I find myself to be somewhat of a pessimistic football fan, but I am definitely an optimistic Vikings fan. As far as Vikings fans go, oh yeah. Well, we'll see. The game is still not over. I will say that. There is a slight pulse. We got to get a quick score here, though. And then it's not as much getting the score, but then stopping the run. Because the Eagles are just going to turn around and run the ball again. And if we're going to score, we got to do it quick. That's a good run on first down to help. Opens up the playbook now on second down. Get us into second and short. We like that. You know, still 11 minutes and counting left. We will probably get 2 more possessions. The big thing is, in between those 2 possessions, we have to stop the Eagles and we have to score touchdowns on both possessions. But how the game is played out, it is likely that we will get 2 more possessions. Even then, like, that's not like a guarantee. All right, play action. Kirk has time. Deep shot. Okay. Oh, Osborne dropped the ball. What is up with KJ? He's just got the yips right now. He didn't have the greatest game last week either. This is like rookie season KJ Osborne. Returning to form. Man, he was there. He just dropped the ball. Oh, that would have put us right on schedule. Also, thank you, CB. I appreciate it. You seem cool too. I like the Batman picture. All right, 3rd and 3. Here comes the pressure. All right, Jefferson doing his thing after the catch. Gets a block. All right. First down. He's probably not going to hit the celebration right now, but I will. All right, we needed that. Uh-oh. Oli Udoh is down. This is a line that's already paper thin. We cannot afford more injuries. That's not good. All right. Well, we'll see. We'll see who comes in. I'm going to look at the Vikings depth chart here real quick. I don't know. So, Oli Udoh was not supposed to start. I'm not sure if he was just in for that snap. Christian Darrisaw was questionable coming into the game, but he was active. I guess we'll find out. But Oli Udoh is down. That's why we got the injury timeout right now. Again. And this is just a classic Vikings experience. They're probably going to score here, and they're going to suck me back into this game a little bit. Like, there is a pulse right now. They're kind of moving the ball. They should have had that big play to Osborne, but then they make up for it with a nice play to Jefferson. Get a big first down. They're moving the ball. Kirk is playing pretty well. I'm looking at the stats right now. Kirk, 20 for 28, 234, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Knock on wood. Who's our third string? At tackle, I believe that would be David Quessenberry, who we recently signed from the Bills, I believe. I don't think I've seen him out there yet. So, and it depends on where we have Udo at because he's played tackle and guard. So, I'll be honest, I don't know where he's been playing the majority of this game so far. But if it was tackle, it would probably be Quessenberry come in. Otherwise, we might be looking at Blake Brandell, who played a little bit last year when Darisaw got hurt. Brandell's listed as a guard here on the Vikings website, but he played tackle some last season. Brandell, for a backup, I don't hate, actually. When Brandell came in for Darisaw last year, he was not a liability. I actually kind of liked what I saw from Blake Brandell. Honestly, him and Udo are probably fairly close. Oh, man. He's on the cart. That's terrible. You never like seeing that. Man, that stinks. Well, hopefully he's okay. Get well soon, Oli. We love you. Dang. Injuries, man. Injuries. It's part of the game, but man, they stink. I guess we'll see who comes out for him now. They're going to break down this play here. Look at that. This is like classic Madden right here. Just like hit the underneath route and let your star receiver just go after the catch. The amount of times I've called a play like that in Madden. Those drag routes. So it is Quessenberry coming in. Okay. As far as I know, I might have to look this up. Are these Quessenberry's first snaps with the Vikings? I'm going to look that up right now. Darisaw's over on the sideline too. Uh-oh. Not ideal. I'll look that up later. Honestly, it doesn't really matter. You best believe the Eagles know where Quessenberry is on the field right now. Honestly, smart play to run it right here. The Eagles are probably ready to tee off with the new tackle out there. I don't hate the call to run. I know like we have to be a little bit urgent because the clock is ticking, but I'm not against that. 6-yard gain, 2nd and 4. We're on schedule. I would like to score fairly soon, though. Good catch, Justin. All right. There we go. Big chunk play. We're nearing the red zone. Picks up the chain, throws it to the side. I'm surprised that players are allowed to wear chains while they play, to be honest. I don't know. I just feel like that. I mean, like, when you play, like, IM football, they make you take off jewelry and stuff. Hey, just ask, what was it, Michael Crabtree that got his chain snatched by Aqib Talib? Or was it the other way around? No, I think it was Talib. Talib would be the instigator. That's a blast from the past. Play action. Ruh-roh. Pressure coming quick. Yeah. Honestly, I'm okay they didn't catch that. We would have lost yards. They were ready for the play action there. That is a big staple of this O'Connell offense. And you see it in like most of the Shanahan guys. Lots of play action. And man, when it works, it works. But sometimes, like when you do it too much, the defense is just ready for it. There are a few big plays in the Buccaneers game last week. There's one in particular. Vikings go play action. It was in the 4th quarter. And Devin White was ready for it, and he blew it up. I think it was to start one of the drives. 2nd and 10. Got to get some yards here. And here we go with the cutesy stuff again. Okay, this one actually worked a little bit, but a little dump off to Ty Chandler. We haven't seen much of him today. All right, so, and Herb Street is talking about it right now. Probably 4-down territory. Probably. It is. So I guess get 4 yards and then try and get the 6 or at least like 4 on 3rd down. And then just use that extra down. Jefferson in motion. Zone coverage. Or maybe man, they got someone following him. Jefferson's the read, and he's got it. All right. All right. Big first down. We're knocking on the door. We're knocking on the door. This game is not over. I'm starting to smile again. Uh-oh. The Vikings are playing with my emotions. The game is not over. Good route by Jefferson. Just beat him to the corner. That's just my guy is better than your guy football right there. All right. Play action again. Look out, Kirk. Look out, Kirk. Touchdown! KJ Osborne redemption. Yes, let's go. All right. We are this close to being back. All right. Defense. Stop the run. They are going to run the ball. And maybe take a deep shot to Devontae Smith. There is a pulse, all right. There is a pulse. They're in the game. That is right. Oh, all right. All right. All right. Good for KJ. He needed that catch. Just wide open. Bare naked in the end zone. Extra point is good. All right. It's a one-score game. Look at that. 7:41 left. Barring just one of the most incredible drives you will ever see, the Vikings will get the ball back. The question is, will they get it back down 6, down 9, or down 13? Let's shoot for 6, how about? That's the tough thing. We can't even let a field goal. Like, we can't allow a field goal. We just have to force a punt or a turnover on downs. All right, here we go. Matthew asks, who is your Super Bowl picks? Well, so my NFC pick to make the Super Bowl is the Dallas Cowboys. I'm feeling pretty good about that right now. Granted, it's one game, but that defense is special. Dak Prescott, I just think too many people hate on him. He had a kind of a rough year last year, but even like his worst year is still a lot of quarterbacks' best years. They upgraded at wide receiver, which really helps. I don't know. I mean, maybe Dallas does this a lot now, especially under Mike McCarthy. Like, they've had really good-looking teams, and then they just lose to the 49ers. But if this is the Cowboys' year, it's this year. I did not pick them to win the Super Bowl. Now, the team I had them playing in the Super Bowl, and I made these predictions, before the season started. I have a whole stream where I predict every game. I revised that a little bit. I tweeted them out, but I had Cowboys Bills in the Super Bowl. And again, it's one game, so I'm not going to write off the Bills yet, but man, that Bills game was concerning on multiple fronts. One, Josh Allen. I just don't know what he was thinking on some of those interceptions. And I get that that's part of the Josh Allen experience, but man, like, he just reverted back to like his rookie year, where it's just like elementary stuff. He's just like blindly throwing it deep into double coverage. I mean, it's just so frustrating watching him sometimes because he's so incredibly talented. When Josh Allen is on, he's not quite at Mahomes' level, but he's as close as you can get. I mean, the Bills beat the Chiefs last year, granted in the regular season, and then the year before that, they were 13 seconds away from beating them. And I thought that the Bills had a very self-aware offseason. A lot of people thought, okay, maybe the Bills fall off a little bit. I liked some of the Bills' moves this offseason. Getting Kincaid, getting Osiris Torrance in the draft, getting Poona Ford and Taylor Rapp on their defense, mutually parting ways with Leslie Frazier, who, as a Vikings fan, I love, but that defensive scheme was just not working. I was really excited to see Sean McDermott come over, take over the defensive play calling. I thought that this was a team that was better built to win those uglier games. And then Monday happens, and they lose to Zach Wilson's Jets, and the same sort of stuff happens. The Jets run the ball on them. The Bills can't run the ball very well. Just bad Allen turnovers. So I'm not going to back down yet. I recognize, I'm sticking my neck out a little bit. I feel like the Bills weren't the most popular pick to go to the Super Bowl this year. I just felt like they've been so close for so long, and they actually made some very, responsible moves in the offseason. But that's why they play the games. It was a little concerning seeing the Bills lose the way they did on Monday. I'm very interested to see how they respond next week. For all we know, it could be the Chiefs again. I mean, as long as they have Mahomes, Kelsey and Chris Jones are back now. All right, let's get back to this game, though. Matt says, good luck, dude. Thank you, man. We're going to need it to stop this running game because the Eagles just ripped off another big gain. We obviously don't need a 3-and-out, but the Eagles cannot score again. If the Eagles get more points, it's probably over. Like 28 points probably wins this game either way. The Vikings get 28, they win. If the Eagles get 28 plus, which obviously they can't literally get 28, but if the Eagles get 30, they win. The defense needs a stop. Here we go. It's on the defense's shoulders now. Can they do it? 2nd and 3. They run with Swift again. Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they? They're gonna bleed the clock some. Vikings do have all 3 timeouts. You certainly can't use them yet. It's too early. But man, as soon as we come up to really play the run, that's when they're gonna hit us over the top. Big play to either AJ or Devontae. This is just such a well-built offense to run the ball, and then they have the wide receivers that can go make a big play. You can't cheat too hard one way or the other. Swift again. And even, it doesn't look like he gets much, but what? That's maybe 4 yards? That keeps them on schedule. That's a run the Eagles live with. 5 yards is what Al Michaels is saying. The 41st run of the night. Wow. 205 yards. That has been the big difference in the game so far, is that the Vikings offense is one-dimensional and the Eagles is not. That and, we just can't stop the run. But Swift again. All right, we forced him into a 3rd down. You know what I'm really scared of right now? Is the Eagles will get 2 yards and then they'll go for it on 4th down and pick it up. This is a very big 3rd down. We cannot allow too many yards here. I don't even want them to entertain the possibility of going for it. I want a punt right now. Because if they go for it, they're probably going to get it. This is one of the greatest 4th down teams in NFL history. This is what every dad says, right, when you're watching the game in the living room. Big 3rd down right here. But this is the big 3rd down. They're going to pass. And A.J. Brown gets it. A.J. Brown goes and gets them a bucket. Oh, that's deflating. But we get another chance. One more 1st down, they might be in field goal range, and that might be game, set, match. All right. All right. Man, even if they don't get a 1st down, if they get to the 40, that's a 57-yarder. That point is going to be moot. Just let him score. No, just let him score. Tackling him does you no good there. Just let him score. That's game right there. Yeah. Boy, do we miss Dalvin Tomlinson. Justin Jefferson now has more yards than any Bears wide receiver in team history. I saw that he was approaching that last week. That is kind of funny. Not going to lie. Can you name one great Bears receiver ever? Alshon Jeffrey and Brandon Marshall. That's about it. This is the worst feeling right here as a football fan. You're just watching your team get slowly chipped away now. At this point the loss is inevitable. Like what? We hold them to 3. It's still a 2-score game. We're going to call a timeout here, I guess, to just save some clock. By calling a timeout now, we're pretty much accepting that, even if we score quickly, it's going to come down to an onside kick. All right. It is looking pretty close to over here, not going to lie. They have us on the ropes. Rocky has us on the ropes. I've actually never seen Rocky. I'm not going to lie. Maybe that'll be my punishment. I have to watch Rocky tonight since we lost to the Eagles. Minnesota doesn't have a version of Rocky, at least as far as I'm concerned. There's the movie Fargo. But, yeah. Shotgun. Interesting. They're going to run it right. Touchdown. Dang, man. Are they shushing their own crowd? Interesting. CB says, I prefer Creed. You know what's crazy? I have seen Creed. I've seen the first two. Those are some good movies. I enjoyed those. I actually saw the second movie in theaters with some of the people watching the stream. That was a fun time. That was like over Thanksgiving break. But dang, man, that's tough. Well, 21-33, waiting the point after try. All right. Well, here's what we'll have to do. Touchdown, quick, onside kick, touchdown, greatest night of my life. That's all we need, right? That's all we need. It's that easy. It's just that easy. Well, you do what you can. I said 250, right? You did. No, hey, did they hit 250 after that last run? 254. You nailed it, man. Good job. Good call. 254 rushing yards. Swift has 200, or sorry, not 200. Swift has 175. He's averaging 6.8 yards per carry. Oh, man. Now watch. I'm going to be going up against Swift in fantasy. Man. Well, the Vikings need to address their run defense, clearly. It wasn't that big of a problem last week against Tampa. But then again, Tampa just doesn't have the juice on offense like the Eagles do. So, you know what? No, I'm not checking my fantasy score right now. That's the last thing I need to see. The team that I drafted live here, I did a draft live stream. I had the first overall pick. Guess who I took? It wasn't Justin Jefferson, because that makes too much sense, right? No, I just have to be so smart and take Cooper Kupp. And that was before, the injury. I knew he was dealing with a hamstring issue. I didn't know he was not going to play week 1. I was still under the impression he was going to play. And I thought it makes sense, 2021, he has one of the greatest seasons ever. 2022, he was on that same pace before he got hurt. And Osborne drops it again. Man, rough night for him. I feel bad for him. I'm glad he got that touchdown, but I hope Vikings fans go easy on him. We can turn on our own players sometimes. Poor guy. He's got the yips. I don't know. Cousins has played pretty well. I can't put too much of the loss on Kirk, to be honest. A lot of it really just does come down to those fumbles and then the run defense. Was that caught? Somehow. Okay, I thought that was picked. Somehow Jefferson caught that. Interesting. It was in Slay's hand. Jefferson was able to hold on. Good concentration. All right. Madison in the flat. Flag is down. Look at Sirianni. Is that Sirianni? That might not be. No. Kind of built like him, though. Waving his arms. Sirianni's kind of a goofball. I actually don't hate Sirianni like a lot of anti-Eagles people do. I think he's kind of funny. It's entertaining. It makes the game more fun. Holding on Brian O'Neill. Yeah. That's legit. Look at Kirk move around a little bit, though. I say move around. He moved like 2 steps, but all right. 1st and 20, just how we like it. All right, here we go, Ty Chandler on the screen. There's not much to say at this point. I feel like the suspense has been taken out of the game. I mean, the Vikings would really just have to score. I mean, you score, you get the onside kick, and you score. That clock keeps ticking, though. Brandon Graham has been playing for 14 seasons now. That's crazy. I'm obviously not that old. Like, a lot of you probably look at me and see, oh, what a young fellow. But seeing Brandon, as Madison drops the pass, seeing Brandon Graham in his 14th season makes me feel old. And I get it. I'm not old, but I feel older. How about that? That sounds fair. I've like taken a look at my demographics and like, obviously like you don't need to tell me, because that would be kind of weird. But I've noticed like on my analytics, a lot of my viewers are like in between like ages 26 and 34, I think, which I will say that is older than me. I'm 23 years old. I just turned 23. I take that as a compliment that I've got older viewers. I wear that like a badge of honor. 3rd down and 15. There's Hawkinson. I love how like, I don't know if he's done it yet, but Al Michaels, like late in the game, especially like in blowouts, like he'll always make like subtle comments about gambling. And I can see him being like, there's some people in the desert right now that might like that Hawkinson catch. Or like when a team scores to cover, like Al Michaels is such a degenerate. I love Al, by the way, but there's Hawkinson again. That's probably going to take us to the 2-minute warning. It's kind of interesting that we're not using our timeouts. I don't know. I mean, I guess the 2-minute warning is coming up. Get one more playoff before. And then you think about timeouts. Because at this point, like, you just have to score quick. We're going to dink and dunk. We might get garbage time points. There's Madison for the 1st down. All right, so 1:55 left going into the 2-minute warning. We're knocking on the door. Here's what I'll say. So I said I didn't want the Vikings to be embarrassed before this game, right? I was like, obviously I'd want to win, but I just don't want them to be embarrassed. They have not been embarrassed tonight. Maybe a little bit, like the run defense was a little embarrassing. I qualify embarrassing as like the performance that they had against the Eagles last year on Monday night. That was embarrassing. They were just like not in that game at all. The Vikings at least put up a bit of a fight here tonight. Obviously, it stinks to go to 0-2, but it could have been worse. Big task at hand says, if the Vikings lose, they should be ashamed. I mean, losing never feels good. I'm sure they're disappointed. I just feel like they put out a respectable effort. It's so easy to get frustrated by the defense, but also sometimes the other team is just better. This is one of those cases. The Eagles are a better football team than us. We are playing them in Philadelphia. It happens. Interesting. So we just rehuddled again real quick, maybe to just say something. Can't spell embarrassed without bears. I've actually never heard that before. That one's pretty good. I like that. I don't know how I've been following the NFC North for that many years, and I've never heard that. As another flag flies, probably holding. As the ball comes out, they're going to decline it and get the ball, unless it's something else. Well, now it's really over. It's at the line of scrimmage. That's in the neighborhood of holding. Or was it a free play? Yes, we're back. We're so back. Let's go. We're winning the Super Bowl. We're back. The masculine urge to say it's over and then say we're back 1 minute later. Oh, yeah, look at that. He was in the neutral zone. Good call by the refs. Alexander Madison gets a lifeline. Is it just me, or do the Eagles look like a different team than last year? I think some of that was expected. When you lose both coordinators, 4 starters on defense, a couple on offense. Yeah, nothing there. No, TJ, don't be looking for a flag. I'm curious, what do you mean different? Different as in good or bad? Or maybe just different. Maybe it doesn't even have to be good or bad. My big prediction going into the year was that the Eagles wouldn't win the division because of how much they lost in their coaching staff and just losing starters, and just that, like, maybe he did get it a little early. But then again, they didn't call the one on A.J. Brown, so I feel like that's even. 2nd and 5. Oh my goodness, what a throw by Kirk. See, that's what I'm talking about. That is peak Kirk right there. That was a great throw. A little bad. I'm kind of with you. They might be like the 5 seed, which again, like, you know, if they get in the playoffs, they are going to be a threat. But I do, like, they probably will not be as good as they were last year. It was a very high bar they set last year. Hawkinson, touchdown. All right, onside kick. It comes down to the onside kick. All right. That was a pretty good drive. Man, just seeing that, like, if the defense would have gotten a stop there, you know, I mean, woulda, coulda, shoulda. Good drive by the offense. It comes down to the onside kick. Chukin says, I kind of hope the Vikings win, not going to lie. You and me both, man. Hey, it ain't over till it's over. Extra point is good. So you recover the onside kick, and then you have about a minute to score a touchdown. Now, the beauty is, if you score a touchdown, provided you make the extra point, you win. However, onside kicks have what? Maybe a 15% success rate, if even. Caden says, I'm the person in the desert. That drive by TJ just won me $60. Let's go, man. High five. Good job. Hey, I told you, TJ. I don't know if I can take credit for that or not. We were talking about that earlier today, but TJ, let's see if they can have another Minneapolis miracle. Hey, I'm touching it for good vibes right now. Good fortune. Here we go. I'm going to hold on to this throughout the kick. All right? We're going to take this energy and we're going to transfer it onto the field over in Philadelphia. All right. Come on. Oh, please, Saint Bud Grant, give us something. The hand is not coming off. This is like a Mr. Beast video. This hand is not coming off. We're going to drink some water. This would be a legendary night in Dr. Pigskin history if the Vikings won this game. That's all I'm going to say. All right. Here we go. Timeout called. Gregory Joseph, what do you got for me? I will never say a bad thing about you ever again if you pull this off. This is definitely just because I'm a Vikings fan. But why do I feel like we're going to get it? Allow me to believe. All right, here we go. Come on. Oh, the suspense. Man, they've just made it so hard to recover onside kicks, which I get. You don't want them to be overpowered. All right. It's not even close. Wow. That was easy. Now we got some chippiness, some woofing, as my dad would like to say. They're woofing at each other. All right, that's game over. Yeah. That didn't even have a chance. Right to him. He like kicked it too hard. I don't know. It's just so hard to do. I honestly don't know how kickers do it. Like anytime it's recovered, it's just a miracle, which that's probably how it should be. I've seen some people say like, "Oh, well the XFL does this or something." Isn't it kind of the point for like the onside kick to be like this this desperation tactic? All right, he's going to hand it off. Am I a gamer? Kind of. It depends on how you define gamer. I play sports games occasionally. I've been playing the new 2K some. I occasionally go through Minecraft phases. You know what I really play actually? This is the game that I definitely go hardest at is Mario Kart Wii. I don't know if y'all still play Mario Kart Wii, but if you know anything about Nintendo, they shut down the wireless servers for their games on the Wii back in like 2015. But some beautiful people, they just banded together and they made a fan-made server where you can still play online. So that was my COVID project, was modding my Wii and downloading like this version of Mario Kart off the internet so I can still play online. And hey, I don't want to sound braggadocious. Like, I try not to be too arrogant. I'm pretty dang good, I will say. I do enjoy myself some Mario Kart Wii. Occasionally some Smash Bros too. So it's mostly like Nintendo and sports games with a little bit of like Minecraft and Rocket League mixed in, which I guess you can count Rocket League as like a sports game, but yeah. Mario Kart Wii rips. It does. Oh, I love that game. Flame Runner for life, baby. Pigskin plays a lot of Stardew Valley and Bakugan. I did play a lot of Bakugan when I was like 8 and 9. That was the thing in second grade was Bakugan. I have never played Stardew Valley, however. Mario Kart Wii was pretty peak. Hey, I'm telling you, like, look up Wiimify. I mean, I don't know if y'all play it like that, but I'm not gonna lie, man. There's actually yeah. It's pretty fun. I don't know. So I did that like back in 2020 during COVID, and I still do that. Like usually it's a summer thing for some reason. I don't know why, but like I'll come back and play it during the summer. I've still been playing it some, but man, let me tell you. Also, wait. So if we get, I have like not been paying attention to the game. Been talking about Mario Kart. Also did that during COVID. So fun. No way, really. That's awesome. It's a small world. So the Eagles got a penalty, and it's now 4th and 10. There's no way we get a shot of the Hail Mary. Even till the very end, I'm going to somehow get sucked into this game. We'll see, though. I mean, the Eagles could just, like, run around for 13 seconds. I don't know if they'd do that or not. Honestly, if they're smart, they would just punt it at this point. Yeah, now they are going to punt it. I like to see we've got some Mario Kart Wii enjoyers in here. That's great to hear. I made the switch over to using the nunchuck. I used to actually play like with the Wii wheel, but I switched over to the nunchuck. That way I still like, I get the fun of like using motion controls to like do wheelies and tricks, but the nunchuck just gives you so much more precision with your turns, and when you play online, man, you need it. You need it. Like I say, I'm pretty good. I am like maybe above average when I play online, but we've been grinding. We're trying to get better. Kirk Hail Mary pick. Oh, you would want that, wouldn't you, Caden? Mr. Man in the Desert. Of course, this is the time that Kirk wouldn't throw a pick in prime time. You get cooked online? Hey, I get cooked online my fair share of times too. My VR goes up and down so much. I usually hover around 8,000. Do you even want to return it? All right. We're not even in Hail Mary range. Like, we've got to have, like, the Miami Miracle, like, hook and ladder going on. I'm not giving up yet. My hand is going back on the miracle. Maybe this was the real miracle all along. We have 7 seconds, no timeouts. I mean, we pretty much have to score this play. I don't even know if we want to risk, like, trying to get a quick hitter. Like, is it really worth getting an extra 8 yards? All right, KOC, this is your time to be cute. You've always wanted to draw up these cute, fancy little plays. Now is your time. I see our running back isn't the center, so that's already an encouraging start. Sorry to any Cowboys fans. And the Eagles are going to call timeout. And they're going to make me keep my hand on this longer. Because obviously, me putting my hand on here matters, you know. All right. All right. It always comes down to the final play with this team, I swear. Also, isn't it hilarious that this is another one-score game? Wouldn't it be hilarious if the Vikings went 11-0 in one-score games last year and went 0-11 in one-score games this year? That would be the ultimate regressing to the mean. Matthew says, imagine if you still had Stephon Diggs. Oh, imagine. But then we wouldn't have number 18 out there, so I don't know. I kind of like who we got. But that would be crazy. Shout out Diggs. I mean, what do you even do here? You just have to pitch it around, right? This is probably going to be hilariously bad. There's a one-man rush. He's not even trying. Like, what do you... They can actually try and throw it that deep? No, what? That's all you had? You seriously think Kirk is going to throw it like 80 yards in the air? I mean, they weren't scoring either way, but that's the final play you had? You know what? We lost by 6. That's not that bad. A lot of things to be cleaned up, obviously. Run defense was terrible. A few too many big plays given up through the air. Offense did their thing for the most part. I can't complain too much about the offense. I don't know how much I can ask out of the running game. Like I said, like, oh, I would like for us to run the ball more. Maybe we just can't run the ball. Like, maybe we're just not good at running the ball. Man. So the plan was really just to throw it up in the air, huh? I mean, did we seriously think the ball was going to reach the end zone? I don't know. GG. Hey, GG. Appreciate it. If there's any Eagles fans that have been watching, good game. Again, I can't be mad. We lost by 6 in Philly. Hey, we covered. The line was 6.5. The Vikings covered. But yeah, Eagles win was inevitable. Hey, I had 28-17, so we'll take that. We will take it. The defense just struggled with the run game from the Eagles. Yeah, I mean, spot on. They went for over 250 yards. Shout out anything for clicks. You knew. Good to see you back in the stream, by the way. I'm liking that, like, I've got some of these regulars. Like, for the most part, these streams that I've done, I like how intimate they are because I can really talk with you guys. It's good to see, like, some people that I don't know in real life come back here. So I really appreciate that. Thank you guys for tuning in today. I think I'm going to wrap it up soon. I've kind of said my piece on this game. We had some fun here tonight. This was an awesome stream. If there's anyone new here, feel free to check out what else I've got going on. This is something I really enjoy doing, and I plan on continuing to do. So, yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate it. Thank you guys. I've been appreciating all the nice feedback. And you know what? You know what we're going to do? We're going to look at this microphone. We're going to figure it out. And hopefully next time I'm live, you'll be hearing me out of both ears. All right. So with that in mind, Skull Vikings, that's all I've got. I hope you guys have a good night. Enjoy the weekend. You know, the weekend is coming up. It's Friday tomorrow. Let's get excited. So with that in mind, the doctor's out. I love you guys. Peace.